unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. The only remaining historically black college and university institution of education on planet Earth today. This is the BlackChannel.net radio program, and I am, of course, your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to have you all with us here this evening. Just giving you fair warning, we will be taking telephone calls tonight because I do want to have some input on a few things, and I will make that available at great psychic and personal risk to myself, because I have a very controversial topic to talk about here tonight, and it is necessary in order that we can clarify a few things. And the thing that we need to discuss here tonight is a very crucial subject for all of us. Brothers and sisters, tonight I want us to discuss the fact that Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. And we have been sold on this poisonous and erroneous idea that Pan-Africanism is a one-way street, that the street runs to the American descendants of the slaves in America, and that everybody else in native African countries or in the diaspora outside of North America, that their job is to figure out how to be beneficiaries off of our work, and that they sacrifice nothing for themselves. Now, over the last decades, I have heard, and I'm just going to be brutally frank with you all here tonight, because it is time for some brutal frankness. I have heard every form of cowardice. I've heard every flavor of excuse. I have heard every color and stripe of rationale, excuse-making, lying, cowardice, backsliding, and everything else to avoid taking accountability. The descendants of slaves in America are only 13% of the population. Only 13%. And yet, look what we have accomplished. Even historically only being 10% of the American population, look what we have accomplished as only around 10% of the population of North America. And yet, I've got Africans who are 90 and 95 and 98% of the population in their respective home countries, coming to me whining and talking about what they can't do and what they can't get accomplished for us on African soil. I hear them talking about, well, you gotta understand, brother, what it is that the white folks won't let us do. Okay, we're 13% of the population, and you're coming to me talking about what white folk on your native soil, quote, won't allow you to do? Won't allow you to do. You're coming to those of us who did it at 13% of the population. Well, you don't understand, see, they are violent, as if these white supremacists here in America aren't just as violent? Excuse me? So you're telling me that the white supremacists in Rwanda and Ethiopia and Nigeria, that they're more peaceful than the ones here? You mean to sit up here and tell me that they are somehow more peaceful? How in the hell do you figure that? They're somehow more peaceful, that there's somehow less of a problem? Is that what you're trying to tell us? Somehow less of a problem? That goes to a more excuse making. It goes to more excuses. Not trying to hear that. No, you see what the issue here is that we as Africans in America, you see, we didn't have a fallback position. That's the difference. The difference is we didn't have a fallback position. We didn't have a place that we could flee to. It was do or die. It was fight or perish. You see, if you were in Africa, you could flee to the Caribbean. You could flee to London. You could flee to other places. We didn't have that option of fleeing anywhere. If we didn't make our stand here, we were going to perish. So when I'm listening to somebody else who had all kinds of advantages, you have the here in America, we celebrate when a black person is elected the mayor of a city or the governor of a state. We celebrate that. When a black person is elected to be the district attorney, we celebrate that here because we never had one before. And then you're going to have black folk in Africa who you got nothing but black mayors, black governors, black district attorneys, and you're sitting here trying to give me a sob story about what you don't have or what you can't get? You're going to try to give me your sob story about that? Telling me about what it is that you're not able to get. What you don't have access to. That's offensive to me. That is reprehensible and offensive to me. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. That's offensive to me. That you're going to come here on the people who have put in the most work and then tell me that we got to put in more work for you. But when I go to Nigeria, I don't see anybody rolling out no red carpets for me. I don't see that. You can go visit Haiti, but nobody is trying to make you, as a black American, a Haitian citizen. Have you all seen the citizenship requirements for the places that will allow it? Have you seen the citizenship requirements if you want to become a Haitian citizen? Never mind dual citizenship because you can't get it. Unless you're already born there in these places. But they come here and tell you and me what they're entitled to. And then want to sit up here and complain. Brothers and sisters, somebody asked me, is this talk about us being the descendants of slaves and making that distinction, is that against Pan-Africanism? And my response to you is that Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. And all we're doing right now is strictly articulating the fact that Pan-Africanism is a two-way street, and some people have been operating under the misconception, whether it's been allowed or not, that Pan-Africanism is not, in fact, a two-way street. That Pan-Africanism is a one-way street where the people who do all the work and paved the road of that street are here to serve and bow and scrape to the individuals who have laid not a brick. You see, it's black people in America who revere Emperor Haile Selassie. But when you go to Africa, oh, I'm about to hurt many a feeling tonight. When you go to Africa, do they refer in Haile Selassie's homeland, do they speak with him with the reverence that we do as Emperor Haile Selassie? Do they do that? On Haile Selassie's native soil, do they speak of him with the reverence that we do? I ask you that question. When they put out that absolutely disgusting smear piece of a movie, The Last King of Scotland, and you saw black people in America rising up saying that no, that was not the majesty of Idi Amin. When they showed the picture of him standing like a mountain with white men bowing at his feet, we were the ones who went and got that picture of Idi Amin showing these white men bowing at his feet. And I ask you today, on African soil, do they refer to Idi Amin with the reverence that we do? Oh no, this is a difficult thing for you to accept here. But for those of you who have brothers and sisters in Uganda today, do Ugandans speak of Idi Amin with the majesty with which we do? That's a simple question. Have you met a Ugandan who speaks of Idi Amin the way that we talk about him? Very simple question for you to answer there. You should have been able to meet plenty of them. Do you see Ethiopians speaking of Haile Selassie with the reverence that we do here in America? Talk about a prophet not receiving respect in his own country. Does the Republic of the Congo speak about Patrice Lumumba's legacy the way that Africans in America speak about and keep alive the legacy of Patrice Lumumba? And I can go down the list. You want to know who had reverence for Nelson Mandela? It wasn't South Africans. They didn't have it. No, there was no apartheid affecting us here in America, but black people in America made up our minds that we would leave no African behind. And there was nothing for us to gain by fighting apartheid. There was nothing for us to gain by doing that except our native soil, and we valued the soil to the point that we would not allow that to happen. And meanwhile, they're sitting up here. Nelson Mandela's people did not stand up for him the way that we did. We turned Nelson Mandela and Steve Biko and Winnie Mandela and all of the others, we turned them from being political prisoners into being living legends, into being living icons. We were the ones who did that. You didn't do that. When you go take a look at movies like Lethal Weapon 2, go take a look at that one there with Mel Gibson, oh the irony, and Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon 2. was about fighting apartheid. I'm not making it up for those of you who saw Lethal Weapon 2. That movie was about fighting apartheid. You didn't have that coming out of South Africa. Just as soon as the Afrikaners got their boots off their necks, and just as soon as the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was adjourned, you had black South African women saying, "Where the white men at?" Oh, am I hurting feelings? Am I snapping ankles? Am I snapping ankles with what I just said? Did I do that? Oh, okay. All right. I'm not supposed to remind you of that. I'm not supposed to remind you all that the Truth and Reconciliation Commissions were hardly convened before the black women of South Africa started saying, "Where the white men at?" Oh, I'm not supposed to remind you that it still continues to this very day. And it still continues to this very day. It's not like it started and then died down. It's at full speed right now. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to remind you. Let me say this in absolutely no uncertain terms, and if I lose people, and if I lose followers, and if I lose individuals who support me, so be it. Black people in America are the sole heirs of what it means to be an African, and black people in Africa are going to have to learn it from us because they have nothing to teach us. They're the ones who abandoned it. We're the ones who have sustained it. And it's a damn shame that the very people who live on African soil have the least amount of respect for what it means to be an African. But the second that we say we're going to take care of ourselves first, because we would take care of you first, with absolutely no reciprocity, all of a sudden they cranked out the term Pan-Africanism. A bunch of black folk from Africa who never used the term Pan-Africanism before now. What the hell kind of reverse psychology whoring are you trying to do? That's never been a word in your vocabulary. These Negroes never had the term Pan-Africanism in their vocabulary. Oh yes, and I will not let it go unsaid because I owe it to that immortal ancestor, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose legacy is Pan-Africanism, but that legacy has been maintained by us. Jamaica did not bow to him. Jamaica did not treat him like the king walking that he was. Jamaica did not do that. Pan-Africanism didn't start in Jamaica. Pan-Africanism started before Garvey, to be totally honest with you, but we give esteem to Marcus Mosiah Garvey because of his accomplishments. And if it weren't for black folk in America, the descendants of the slaves, then there would be no mentioning Marcus Garvey's name. We're the ones who made that possible. And when he was sent back to Jamaica, it wasn't like he found a country full of people pulling the wagon for him. Show me where you had Jamaicans rise up and hold this man, hoist this man on their shoulders and say that we found the leader. Show me where that happened. You tell me where Jamaica picked up the mantle of Marcus Garvey and speaks of him with the reverence that we do. Tell me where they're doing that. Show me where they're doing that. Show me where. While you're going to sit up here and try to tell me about what it means to be a Pan-Africanist. A bunch of individuals who sit up here like sidewalk whores and want to sit up here and try to yank out phrases that mean something to us. You think you're going to be slick and play some kind of reverse psychology. No, I got to see your track record on Pan-Africanism before I let you utter those words. You're not going to sit up here and sling around the term Pan-Africanism and then you're going to reinvent it. I got to see your credentials. I got to see your documentation before I allow you to use those words. You think you're going to play reverse psychology on us? Show me the Pan-African movement in Nigeria. I'll wait. Show me the Pan-African movement in Burundi, in the Congo, in Ethiopia, in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Sudan, in Chad, in Nigeria. Show me the Pan-African movement in South Africa outside of Julius Malema, a lone lighthouse. Outside of Julius Malema. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of South Africa. I'll wait. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of Jamaica with their multi-million-dollar Asian investments. Show me where they are. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of Haiti. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of the Dominican Republic. Shout out to Sammy Sosa and all the rest of the skin bleachers. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement outside of the United States. And then I got niggas, and I said it the way I meant it. Then we got niggas outside of America trying to whine, talking about, but these folks is mean. Y'all don't want to shed no blood. But you're coming here to the place of the people who have the guts to shed the blood, and then gonna sit up here and tell us what we owe you. Let me make this very, very clear. The descendants of the slaves owe you nothing. You owe us all. You owe us everything. We owe you nothing. And that is the reason why we are saying that the bill has come due. Because you have benefited off of the blood that we've spilled on American soil. Ain't no benefits for me in Africa. And there's no benefits for me there because you ain't spilled no blood. But you're going to come here to the people who have the guts to do it and then talk about we owe you. We owe you nothing. We owe you nothing. And you owe us everything. Absolutely everything. There ain't nobody leaving America and going to Africa and becoming a millionaire. That's why the one-way street, you're coming here. There's nobody going over there talking about I made it big. And we made it possible for you. Overcoming presidents like Woodrow Wilson, Andrew Jackson, and all the others who made it very, very clear what their view was on African immigration. You wouldn't be able to stand on the soil were it not for us. We were the ones who made it possible for you to stand on this soil, and then you gonna try to turn up your ass at us and talk about what you've done and accomplished. The only thing you accomplished was stepping off the plane, and oh yeah, you never would have been able to do that if we had not made it possible. It was black Americans, the descendants of slaves, getting lynched, the descendants of slaves getting Jim Crowed, the descendants of slaves who stood up for Garvey, the descendants of slaves who stood up for Patrice Lumumba, the descendants of slaves who enamored Haile Selassie. We were the ones who made it possible for you to be able to do that, and then you're gonna step here and act like somehow something you did, it's just divine providence that you were able to stand here? No. It was not divine providence. It was the descendants of the slaves' providence. We were the ones who made it possible for you to even be able to speak the name of America. And when you say America, what you really mean is the table that we spread and we set for you, which is why it is so damned offensive to me when I see things like this. I can show you article after article. This is from 2011. Demonstrators, this was down there in Florida, a Haitian immigration protest. This was 2011. And I ask myself, I've got to ask myself, where are the Haitians demonstrating in Port-au-Prince for the Africans of the diaspora to have citizenship on Haitian soil so that we can finish the work of Toussaint L'Ouverture, so we can finish the work of Jacques Dessalines. I ain't seen it. Show me where they're protesting and in the streets for us. Show me the protests in Nigeria. I don't want to hear no damn excuses. Well, the government will crack down. The government cracked down on us, damn it. And I'm not talking about in the long gone past, in Ferguson, in Baltimore. We never used that as an excuse. They blew up the Black Wall Streets. We didn't use that as an excuse. They lynched us all over the damn place. We didn't use that as an excuse. Ain't nobody lynching you, but you're telling me about what you won't do. No, that's called cowardice. When you're telling me about what you're scared to do, even though you haven't done anything, that's called cowardice. It'd be different if you were scared to do it, and every time you did it, you was getting your ass whooped, but you're not even trying and talking about, man, it's going to be bad if we try to do that then. No, you're freeloading and think you're going to get something for nothing. You want to sit up here and be a parasite, be a bloodsucker, be a leech off of our definition of Pan-Africanism. You want to be a leech off of our definition of Pan-Africanism and sit up here and try to remix it and rework it so that it goes to your benefit, and we're not going to have that. Not gonna have that at all. We as black people, the descendants of slaves, what we are doing is we are not redefining Pan-Africanism, we are defining Pan-Africanism. We're defining it. Because up until now, there hasn't been we've been the only ones adhering to a code. Everybody else is sitting up here acting like we're their suckers and that they're going to use our code against us. We're just putting our foot down that you will no longer use the code against us. You're going to have to earn the right to use the phrase Pan-African. You're going to have to earn that. And you're not going to sit up here and say that Pan-African is letting those of you who put in no work have your way. Because that's what you're trying to define it as now. Pan-African is support. Just bow down and be a sucker and mindlessly, brainlessly support the folks who ain't put in no work. No, you got to put in work, and work means we get from you what you get from us. No more one-way street. If you want us to support your rights on American soil, I need to see you in the streets supporting our rights on African soil. If you want citizenship in the country that we prep the land for you, you're going to have to ensure our citizenship in the country that you prep the land for us. No more excuses. Because right now what we have are a bunch of white supremacists walking around in African skin. We have a bunch of white supremacists we have a bunch of African immigrants who are white supremacists. We have a bunch of African immigrants who are white supremacist sympathizers. First, you had the white slave masters wanting to see how they could exploit us. Now you got Africans coming over here trying to see how they can exploit us, at least at a spiritual level. The fact that you're coming to the house we prepared for you, you should be showing respect. And we're getting exactly the opposite. Oh no, you betrayed the fact you got white supremacist tendencies. And what we're saying is we're not going to play the game anymore with you. Brothers and sisters, no more excuses. No more. If you're Somalian, I need to see Somalis in the streets of Somalia marching for Pan-Africanism. If the only place Pan-Africanism exists is here on American soil, then you got no place and no business trying to mention that term. if Pan-Africanism does not mean just that, pan, worldwide, if Pan-Africanism only exists in America, then we need to just call it what it is, American Africanism. But don't come to me talking about Pan-Africanism and the only place that you are working for it is on American soil. That's called exploitation. So when you see all these individuals, newscasters, rappers, models, actors, actresses sitting up here talking to us all crazy and all funny, we put in work on American soil. We continue to do it to this damn day. This is why you've got Donald Trump in office now, the last desperate gasp of white supremacy as it's being choked out of existence. This is why you got white supremacist vigilantes. You got those because we put in the work here. You got those because we changed the vernacular. People are no longer using the vocabulary of calling it racism. They're using the vocabulary of calling it white supremacy. Thank you, Neely Fuller. And we're not using the vocabulary of hope and change and integration. We're using the vocabulary of black first and black empowerment. The Black Channel did that. And now as we move on to saying that these things will only be defined as tangibles, and you got us pulling the damn wagon and other folks sitting in there saying, hey, you need to pull the wagon faster. No, you need to hop your ass down here and start pulling. Let me just say it straight out just like it is. African immigrants should be looking upon us as gods. Because without us, you wouldn't have the ability to even stand here. Many of you wouldn't have the ability to stand in your countries. Apartheid did not fall because of anything that black South Africans were doing. Apartheid fell because blacks in America demanded it must come down. We demanded that it must fall. Nigeria is not prosperous today because Nigeria figured out something slick. Nigeria is prosperous today because blacks in America demanded it. When you got movies like Hotel Rwanda, at the very least putting the eyes and the emphasis on these things. It was black folk who were talking about Rwanda, not Hollywood. Let me be very, very clear about that. It was black people talking about Rwanda, not Hollywood. It was black people in America saying, get the French out of the Congo. It's black people in America saying, get out the Belgians, get out the French, get out the Portuguese. It was black folk in America doing that. You had no leverage to get them out. You had none. We were the ones who made those issues. We made those issues, not over there. We did that. And now you're trying to take credit for what we did? So we accomplished it, and now you want to take credit for it and tell us that we haven't given you enough. No, we have given you more than enough. It is time for Africans in Africa to give back to the system. It is time for Africans in Africa to give back. It is time for black folk in Haiti to give back. And what we're asking for doesn't even cost you money. That's the shameful part of it. It's not even going to cost you money. It needs to be a universal right of all people who can trace their ancestry back to the motherland, that we should have automatic citizenship. And if you are unwilling to extend that to us, then I'm walking away from the table of extending it to you. It costs you nothing to do that. But let's just be very, very clear right now. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no lying. I don't want to hear no backsliding. The only reason that blacks in America do not have dual citizenship in Africa is because black folk in Africa, including the ones who've come over here to America, including many of you here at the Black Channel, do not want us to have it because you see us as outsiders. And you came here to get over. You came here to be slick. You came here to pull one over on us. And you talking Pan-Africanism, but then you get home and it's a cotta this and a cotta that. But let's just say it like it is. You see us as the outsiders, which is the only reason that we do not have dual citizenship on the African continent today. You're the obstacle, not the Europeans, not the white folk, not the Asians, not the Russians. You are the obstacle. You don't want us to have it. You want to have your cake and eat it too. You can have your cake, but you can't eat it. You can choke on that damn thing, but you can't eat it. But this idea that we're here to be raped, and we're here to be whored, and we're here to be exploited, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. No, Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. And you have not shown proper reverence to the descendants of the slaves who today are the standard bearers of Pan-Africanism. Now, when the white folks show up in Africa, you throw open the doors. When the Asians show up in Jamaica, you throw open the doors. When the Asians show up in the Bahamas, in the Virgin Islands, in the Caribbean, you throw open the doors for them. But when we show up, all of a sudden, it's animosity. All of a sudden, you need to have lived here for 15 years, and we need somebody to vouch for whether or not you're a good enough citizen, and we need to get you gotta pay $50,000, and we need for you to pay some more money, and we need for somebody else to vouch for you, and oh, we check these other papers over here. All of a sudden, it's a damn minefield. But the Asians, have you all ever heard about the Chinese complaining about how hard it is to become a citizen in Africa? Think about that for just a few moments and stop getting your ass played by these Africans. Somebody tell me, as a matter of fact, let me open this damn phone line. Somebody call me up and explain to me, when was the last time that you heard Asians complain about how hard it is to become an African citizen? Explain that to me. With them over there, got restaurants where there's so many Asians now that they got restaurants where they don't even want black folk in Africa to be customers at it, coming on your soil. I wish you would go to Beijing or Guangdong or someplace like that and tell the Chinese that you're going to set up an African restaurant and no Chinese people can be customers there. I wish you would try to go on Chinese soil and tell the Chinese that they're not welcome on their own soil. I wish you would attempt to do that. You try to go anywhere in China, in Russia, and set up a business and tell them that they don't have access to your business, that you're going to stand on their soil and tell them what they can't do, that this part of the soil doesn't belong to them. You try that. Try that one time and see how that goes down. No, Pan-Africanism is a two-way street, and you're no longer going to get away with the con job that Pan-Africanism is going to be a one-way street, and all of the benefits go to you, and that you're going to try to guilt us into exploiting and whoring out ourselves. You're going to try to guilt us into that. The telephone lines are now open. The number is 646 787 1933. That's 646 787 1933. You can call us up, and if you think I'm wrong, if you're an African immigrant or whatever, by all means, you can call me up and call us on this. But enough is a damn enough. Enough is a damn enough. Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. And if you're not interested in maintaining a two-way street, then damn it, if it's going to be a one-way street, it's going to be a cul-de-sac. It's going to be a cul-de-sac. And anybody who was in the chat room earlier disagreeing with me, my mods, I want you to tell them they need to give us a call up. Anybody who was disagreeing. But this is how you end up with individuals wanting to play this game that they want to call themselves black or say they got some black ancestry when it's convenient, and then all of a sudden turn around and ain't no blackness in them. No, we're not turning against Pan-Africanism. You've been against Pan-Africanism from day one. We are enforcing Pan-Africanism. No, Pan-Africanism is alive and well. We are enforcing it. Pan-Africanism is alive and well, but we, the descendants of the slaves, we are the guardians of Pan-Africanism. Truth be told, we're also the creators of it. We're the ones who created Pan-Africanism, truth be told. Pan-Africanism is alive and well, and the descendants of the slaves are now enforcing it. That's all. Up until now, see, y'all got it twisted because up until now, no one was enforcing it. You could just get away with whatever you want to get away with, and that was it. No more getting over. You're going to have to earn the right to say the words Pan-African. Caller from 469, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hi, it's John from Dallas, and I'm going to go ahead and get to the point here. To your question about the Chinese, as somebody who's lived in China, I can tell you a few things about that. There's a city called Guangdong, called Guangzhou, which is the capital of Guangdong province, which is the richest province in China. They had an area which was referred to as the chocolate district because of so many African vendors that were setting shop. Some years ago, the exact year I don't remember, but they decided they're going to make that street cleaner because it was too congested. And it just so happened that disproportionately, it was the African vendors who got the short end of that stick. Now, we could also go to the multitude of illegal immigrants who get rounded up and imprisoned or deported and things like that. But I think you can guess that they don't exactly get the red carpet rolled out. And particularly Guangdong province, neighboring Jiangsu, tends to have a history of racial animus against black people. Now, let's go ahead and contrast that with what happens in the motherland, where you can actually open restaurants, like you said, where they can't even go in. Like the own locals can't even go in. You put that in Africa, you probably might get lynched. If you put that in China, you might actually find yourself getting lynched.
And that's a very good point, because we have allowed this situation of allowing people to disrespect us. Africans in Africa allow Asians to disrespect them. Africans in America allow Africans from Africa to disrespect us. But we would never be allowed to do that over there, because understand something, all the videos you see of disrespecting Africans, those are white folk and Asians disrespecting Africans over there. Do you think they would allow one of us to come over there and disrespect them the way they do the Asians?
Oh, no. And again, if you commit a severe enough crime, which includes homicide or drug-related crimes, that's a capital offense. Like East Asia in general, if they catch you pushing weight, they'll execute you straight up. And there's been Africans who've been executed in China for pushing weight. Now, and to the person who in the chat room said that they're rounding up African Muslims in China, I'm going to implore you to not do that. Don't try to make this a religious issue, because as a person who is a Christian, I got scrutinized the same way as they scrutinize Muslims. It doesn't matter what your religion is; it's your black skin. So please don't try that Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, all that crap. They don't like your black skin, and that's a worldwide issue.
Yeah, black folk get very easily distracted because we don't want to deal with the real issue. We're the ones who try to turn it into religious issues. Oh, they're Muslim. Oh, they're Jewish, this, that, and the other. We do that to avoid having to deal with the real problem. We know the problem is white supremacy. We know the problem is the fact that we're black. We know that, and we're seeking some other way to have to avoid that because you know it's not religion, so if you go talk about religion, you can talk about religion forever and never actually have to deal with the issue. I'll let you have the last word.
Yep. So anyway, now, these people who are, trying to find this, coalition, listen, I speak the language at least well enough to get people in trouble. I've busted Chinese people in America talking trash about me in Chinese. And I've embarrassed them. And my brother made me promise this. I actually told them in Mandarin I knew what they were saying. So, again, and one of my own colleagues, whom I later befriended, in UT Dallas, University of Texas at Dallas, which a brick of Jason Black's quote is on the ground of, and I put there. One of the Chinese people told me straight up that whenever that, the new people come from China to the United States, they actually tell them, hey, watch out for the black people around the campus. They'll rob you. Now, those of you who know the crime stats of Texas, of the Dallas area, or the United States, black people don't attack Asians like that on the regular. Most of the people attacking them are actually other Asians or white people. And so I had to sit down and pull out the crime stats to show her this, and to which change her perspective. But I'm just telling you that to tell you this. They pull this crap worldwide. Well, they come over here and they indoctrinate them with anti-black racism when they get here, if they don't have it already. So all of you guys who are thinking that this is an isolated incident and that's just no, this is what they just don't like you. They're just not into you. So please drop the crap, get on code. Oh, and one more thing, cut the check. Be one family.
Black First, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, and indeed, cut the check. You're not going to be able to hide from it. It's not an ideological issue, it's a racial issue. And cowardice is not going to fix that. Let me get caller from 740. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Yeah, I was just calling in. I appreciate everything you're doing. I want to say that. I also wanted to say, why is it that Pan-Africanists always try to ignore the fact that Malcolm X went to Africa, asked all the African leaders to help black Americans, and they all said no?
Because up until now, we have had a scared, cowardly contingent attempting to interpret what Pan-Africanism is. And their definition of Pan-Africanism has basically been that anything from Africa is good and is acceptable, and we have to support it unquestioningly. Even if it is contrary and destructive, we got to support it. And what I'm telling you is, we are here to inform people that we understand we are not unsophisticated. We're not simple-minded, and we don't subscribe to it as a religion. We subscribe to it as a fact of being. But you're not going to be able to hide anymore and say, well, I was born on African soil, so descendants of slaves have an obligation to support me and never speak ill of me or never criticize me. No. Simply being from African soil doesn't make you infallible. Look it up. Being from African soil doesn't mean you're born without fault and you're just blameless on everything. That's not going to happen. So there was a time where we were still trying to sort out, okay, what is Pan-Africanism? Pan-Africanism is supporting all Africans for the good of Africans. But it's been a one-way street. And we have to face a brutal reality that we haven't really wanted to face, brother. We got to face a brutal reality. Africans in Africa do not see themselves as black. They see themselves as members of whatever tribe. But when you and I use the word black, they use the word black too, but they don't mean what we mean. And we have to come to grips with the fact that they don't mean it the way we mean it. First of all, they don't use it very much. And to the extent that they do, they damn sure don't even mean it the way that we mean it. So we first have to come to reality of how they see us, and that they don't see us with reverence. They don't see us with respect. They don't see us with esteem. They don't even see us with basic dignity. They don't, as a group, as individuals, you got some who likes rap music and sag their pants, and they think that's what being a black person in America is. But they do not see us as their brothers. You have a small faction that does, but the very fact that you ain't got them marching in the streets for us like you got us over here for them, and DACA and all that mess, you don't see an African DACA program for us. There are no Africans demanding a DACA program for us. Now, they rolled out the red carpet for the whites, the Asians, the Russians, the French, the Brits, rolled out the red carpet for them, but there's nothing rolled out for us. Nah, brother, we have to accept that when Malcolm went there, we had an unsophisticated expectation. We didn't really know these people. We had oversimplified it. We understood our history, but we didn't get down to we never even asked, hey, how do those people see us? We just assumed, we assumed that because white supremacy is global, that these people's experience and ours was global as well. And that isn't true. Our experience in America has not been global. Our experience with white people is not their experience with white people. It isn't. And they've been trying to pull this con job that it is. No, the whole reason you have this descendants of slaves talk today is because our experience with white people and with Europeans is unique. It is different. They don't have the same experience we do, which is why when we talk about white supremacy, they start taking up for white daddy and start name calling. They don't attack white daddy, they attack us. So that tells you right there,
Yeah.
Their experience is different than ours. And we tried to assume that their experience is the same, and it isn't. That's why that happened then, and that's why we're correcting the problem now. I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, I just want to say one more thing. Like, you know, I've done a lot of research on Africa, and if you go to South Africa, you had a lot of the Zimbabweans coming into South Africa trying to work, and they was attacking the Zimbabweans, even setting some of them on fire. If you go to Nigeria, you got three main tribes, the Hamas tribe, the Yoruba, and the Igbo, and they don't like each other. So there's not all this African unity over there in Africa at all. So how do we expect them to come over here and have any kind of unity with us when they don't even have it over there?
We're going to have to insist on it. We're going to have to insist on it, and we're going to have to enforce it. Understand something, brother. Now, this is something that is global and universal. People will only treat you as bad as you allow it. And we've allowed them to treat us pretty bad. For a pretty long time, we allowed them to treat us pretty bad. The train stops here. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from 252. You're on live with the Black Channel.
How you doing, sir? I just want to say I appreciate your time and the effort that you're putting into your videos and helping out the YouTube community, trying to spread some awareness too about about how Africans as a whole, we're so split up. And that's why I just want to jump into it. I don't agree with Pan-Africanism simply for the fact that Africa, if you look at the state of Africa as it is and the history of it, Africa is so split up. It was divided into nations, and Africa was not. It was not supposed to be that way. But the Europeans, what they did, to Africa, it's far too late for a Pan-African movement as far as moving to Africa or just changing Africa as it is, because the leaders are so corrupt. The people are so disenfranchised, and it's too much. If you just look at Black Americans now, we're so divided. We're not together. Imagine how Africa is for just being split up for centuries, for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's very hard for a Pan-African movement as it is now. Malcolm, like a previous caller said, Malcolm X tribe. It's hard. What it's going to take for a real Pan-African movement is if countries cease to exist in Africa as it is. Africa has to be united.
Well, I mean, the countries don't have to stop existing. First of all, Pan-Africanism rests with us, not with them. The countries don't have to cease existing. The idea that your country matters more than your Africanness is what has to stop existing. And you got an echo going on there. Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from 424. You're on live with the Black Channel.
What's up, Jason? This is Danny from Gardena, California. What's up, man?
Danny from Gardena, what's on your mind?
The idea that nowadays in the modern society, even though there's so much information out there, if you want to act like you're ignorant to the fact that it's white supremacy, all this history, and all this stuff going on, if you want to act ignorant, that's your own individual choice. I can't help you with that, but, and that's the whole point of this whole, of why the 1%, they're all freaking out. They're panicking, and that's the silver lining in the negativity that's going on right now. If they weren't panicking so much that they know that they're about to lose their power, then, their perceived power, then, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't be doing this, constant shit on the media and all that. If everything was technically according to plan and everything like that, we would be seeing, not so much information out there. But the fact that so many people have risen up and just known that, hey, this shit is really going on and people need to wake up to the fact that, Charles Darwin's book on evolution, as scientific as it may be, the fact is that he went to Africa in his book and he talked about it. Nobody talked about this. He went to Africa and he saw, like, after he saw the finches and the Galapagos Islands and all those animals.
Okay, brother, your phone is breaking up really badly. I'm not sure what's going on with your connection or whatever. Your phone's breaking up pretty badly, but thank you for giving us a call here tonight. Folks, make sure you got your phones together before you give us a call in. Let me get caller from 832. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Yes, this is Prince from Richmond, Texas.
Prince from Richmond, Texas. What's on your mind, brother?
One thing, Dr. Khalid Muhammad said that, when we were taken from Africa, we lost our name, our mores and our foreways, all of our culture. But we seem to have more fight in us to try to reach out to our African brothers. We've accomplished more when it comes to the unity that came through Pan-Africanism. But they have the land. They supposedly have their culture and traditions. But they seem like they're ineffective in supporting us at all.
They don't seem like it. They're not ineffective. They are refusing to support us. Brother, when they get here on American soil, and this is something else, you know what, brothers and sisters, I gotta say this right now. Africans, when they come to America, they're not standoffish and skittish with us and hostile toward us because white folk told them. They have this whole list of lies that they tell. When they're in white folk company, they say one thing. When they get in our company, they say something else. Probably the biggest lie that has been passed around is this idea that, you see, in order for us to come to America, They teach us when we get oriented, before we come oriented over here, not to mess with black folk in America. Hold on a damn minute. They don't teach you to talk to each other either. You didn't sit up here and go to some damn 6-hour immigration class and, they told me what not to do. I better not do that. Because they tell you to be good Americans, but you're not flying the American flag. You're flying the flag of where you came from. So clearly your immigration class and your immigration debriefing didn't brainwash you. They have hostility against us before they ever come here. It's not no damn immigration debriefing that did that. Explain the hostility towards us before you ever got here. Explain that part. They were hostile before they got here. They're hostile towards us after they get here. So we've been feeding ourselves this lie because we have been in denial. We haven't wanted to accept the brutal truth. And we're not going to be able to fix anything until we do and understand they come over here lying and scheming. They come over here playing us. They know the lies that they've been telling the whole time, and then they try it out on us and see if we're going to fall for it. They have hostility towards us before they ever show up here. Period. And we're the ones who don't want to believe it because we have full faith in Pan-Africanism, and we don't want to believe that the majority of the people in Africa are not Pan-Africanists. We're talking about how great it is to be them, and they have nothing but contempt toward us. And we don't want to believe that because that's what we're trying to build bridges there. And we don't want to have to accept the reality that many of the people we're trying to build a bridge to are trying to build walls against us. And all I'm doing is saying, let's just face the truth. Let's just face the facts. This is like driving on a flat tire. You can sit there and keep pumping air in it all you want to. The thing's got 5 holes in it. You need a new tire. I'm not insulting you by saying the tire is flat. I'm saying let's fix the tire. I'll let you have the last word.
Yes. Yeah, the other thing I want to say was Congressman James Clyburn was confronted by a young man with his cell phone, and he asked him about a black agenda and reparations and talking about ADOS. And James Clyburn first pushed his phone away and then was dismissive of him and was very angry that he confronted him. He was angry that the young man was respectful, but he kept speaking clearly about the position for black people. And the end of the video is what caught me. The older black women who were trivializing him, talking about what you didn't have a good breakfast, they were criticizing him for saying anything for Congressman James Clyburn. And I wonder if the older black women, some like church mothers, or will they be used to undermine us also?
They're already there. I mean, look.
And that's all I have to say.
Mammyism is alive and well. Mammyism has always been there. It's alive and well, but we're here to wipe it out. Thank you for giving us a call tonight. I was reading an article tonight that was reminding us about the fact that generation during the Woodrow Wilson administration, when you had, your Booker T. Washingtons and your Monroe Trotters, I understand Monroe Trotter, yikes. But when you had them and Marcus Garvey, these were individuals who were fighting the black folk who would come off the plantation talking about, massa ain't so bad and we can get along and slavery wasn't so bad. These were the young black people who had to overturn the administration of the older black folk who were comfortable in their subjugation. And right now you have a new generation of young black folk who are not comfortable in our subjugation. So when you see a bunch of old black folk, they're gathered around. I've told you all this for years. You're going to have to come to the acceptance of the reality. They have accepted their fate. They're weak. They're helpless. And right now, all them Negroes gathered around James Clyburn, all the little old ladies gathered around John Lewis, all the little old ladies, Walter Scott's mother and all that stuff, all the little old folks at church, brothers and sisters, they're sitting at church because they are communicating to you that at this point in their lives, all they wish for is a peaceful, quiet, unpainful death. And you're just going to have to come to facts with that. They're not fighters. They're not warriors. They never were. And they're upset with you because you're standing in the way of their peaceful demise. They just want to die painlessly. And all they hear from you is stirring up, quote, trouble. But they just want to die painlessly. That's all. They just want to die painlessly. So, of course, they're going to speak against what you're talking about. You don't want to die painlessly. They do. Deal with it. Caller from 773, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Yes, hi, this is Erica calling from Chicago.
Erica from Chicago, what's on your mind?
Yes, there is a video that has been going around from the Atlantic Black Star with Umar Johnson in it. I believe it came out on Friday. He basically said that he does not agree with the ADOS. He gave 3 reasons. The first one was identity. He said that we are one African and that we are one human family. He said any organization that doesn't call itself African, he cannot ride with. Number 2, he said white supremacy must be overthrown. He said it cannot be defeated regionally. He said that we must all rise up as one by the global effort of our people, and black nationalism will not overcome white supremacy.
Erica.
Number 3.
Erica. Next.
Go right ahead.
Next subject.
Okay. But I just want to let you know as to how he feels about it. But I know that he's been in quite a few individuals' documentary. And basically what I'm just saying is
and my response to that is everybody who starts with us doesn't finish with us. And I'm not.
That is true.
I am married to black empowerment. I'm not married to individuals. That would be my short response to that. But my response to you would be next subject.
All right, sure. The next thing what I want to talk about is in regards to how the Africans, when they do come over here, as to what they do receive. Like I have made mention that there's this particular application, the I-860A, that what they need is a sponsor from one of their people that lives here in America so that they could be able to receive grants. I used to work for Citizenship and Immigration Services, and I know about this. And so as you was referring to, is that with us, we do not have the ability to go over to their area to live there or to build. But the minute, once all this ends, once we receive our check because we are demanding it, what they're receiving right now will come to an end. And this is why we constantly hear a lot of the African immigrants, they are here to replace us. We see this so much in the media. We see this so much in everything. And so we have to continue to be on their necks, so to speak, as to let them and to remind them as to how our situation here is unique. It's very unique, and that is something that they cannot take.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Let me get a caller from 347. You're on live with the Black Channel, and turn off your speakers.
Hello. This is Malachi from upstate New York.
Malachi from where in New York? Okay, Malachi, I've asked you to turn off your speakers, so since you can't figure out how to do that, off you go. Caller from 706, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, how you doing today, brother Jason? This is Lamont calling from Georgia.
Lamont from where in Georgia?
Augusta,
Georgia. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I'm calling because I know that you have a director in Hollywood, but they are African. They are African, Haiti, Jamaican, and mixed breed. And I know all of them are real hot. That they don't identify themselves with black people. Do you think the reason why they're doing our story, the reason why Hollywood hires them to do our story, because they don't identify themselves with us and they're easily controllable?
Okay, I'm not really sure who you're referring to as easily controllable. I didn't make out that part.
What I mean, African, like the African who come here and who doing our story and who are in Hollywood. Like, I know that you have a lot of African who are playing black actors. like in Get Out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you had Haiti.
I mean,
and you have
they have. I mean, look, you don't get elevated anywhere without being vetted. You don't get elevated anywhere without being vetted. And if they put money in these folks' pockets, they vetted them. You're not going to make it onto a major cable television network as a full-time employee unless you've been vetted. If they got there, brother, we're just going to have to accept they've been vetted. They wore the dress. They kissed white ass. They performed some deviant sexual practice. If they made it there, brother, they got vetted. Now, they ain't telling us everything they did, but you're going to have to accept the reality. If they're there, if they have been elevated by those people, they were vetted. You think it's a coincidence that LeBron James didn't have much to say about a 12-year-old black child being killed? Neither did Michael Jordan. Neither did any of the others. It's not coincidence.
Mr. Black, the reason I ask you that, because a lot of Africans, they don't identify themselves with black. Them in Caribbean, they don't really like us. And me and them in Hollywood, they don't like us at all.
Well, no, they don't, but that's the whole point behind it. They know where they're getting these people from. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Caller from 615. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Black? Calling from the DMV in Maryland. How you doing?
If you're on speakerphone, you need to take your phone off speaker. What is your name?
Sorry about it. My name is Chris, calling from the DMV in the DC area.
All right, Chris, what's on your mind?
So I've been listening to you talk about Pan-Africanism, and I just got a couple of critiques, and I'd just be curious to hear your response to it. So my first question to you would be wait there?
Please
my first question to you is my first question to you is that most Europeans and white people, they are pan-European. They are unified, and they have organizations and partnerships economically, militarily, politically, and they don't give two shits if they like each other personally. My question is to you is, how do you seriously think you can fight a global white supremacy on a national spectrum by dividing, quote-unquote, African Americans from the broader diaspora?
Okay, first of all, we're not dividing anything. We are acknowledging a division that is already there. To say otherwise would
And what division is that?
Excuse me. Be quiet. I'm talking. You asked a question, you called me, not the other way around. The division is already there. That would be as stupid as having cancer and saying, it was the doctor's fault I have cancer. If he would just quit saying I have cancer, I wouldn't have this sickness. No, the doctor took a look at your x-rays and he is simply acknowledging what is already there. Now, very clearly, either you just showed up a few moments ago or you haven't listened to the whole program or you're very, very slow. When did you start listening to tonight's program?
I listened to it as soon as it came on the air.
Okay, so you're
asking
where the divisions
how you can justify.
And so you heard the first hour of the program, and you called up an hour later to ask, what divisions? I spent the whole first hour of the program articulating all of that, and here you show up an hour later on the short bus talking about what divisions. I spent the whole first hour running them down.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You lied. You didn't clear. I'm going to tell you right now. White people are pan-European across the globe.
Brother.
You have not articulated clearly how we can fight this opposition on a national stage. You haven't done this.
Brother.
You ain't articulated nothing. You lying to the people. You're wicked.
Okay.
Seriously. You need to get off the air. You're a race trader. You're a sellout. That's
First of all, you all can hear his accent, and he's one of the angry ones who has never put in any work to fight white supremacy, now that we're saying he's got to put in work, he's not going after the white supremacists. He's coming here yelling at us. He's not taking issue with the white supremacists. He's coming here yelling at us. Because we said that he's gonna have to start pulling his own weight. When it comes to Pan-Africanism, Africans are gotta start pulling their own weight. I spent the whole first hour giving the detailed anatomical rundown of why it is that there are distinctions and differences, and he like, no, there not be. No, what he's upset about is he's one of the folk who hasn't been pulling his weight. And he's trying to guilt us into saying that him not pulling his weight is acceptable. No, you're gonna have to get off your ass and start earning the ability to speak on Pan-Africanism. If you want to know what the differences are, I mentioned them during the entirety of the first hour of the program. I ran the whole thing down. And understand, these folks are dedicated to this idea that they're going to exploit us. They're married to this concept that we are here to be exploited. I knew it. Just at the moment that you say that, I've been telling you the whole time, they're sitting here married to this concept that we are here to be exploited by them. And absolutely not. Absolutely not. Show me your accomplishments and then we'll start talking about what you can get. But Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. Caller from 262, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Good evening, Brother Jason. Larry calling from Racine, Wisconsin.
Larry from Racine. Let me get the numbers out here. There's quite a few ladies want to speak with you, Larry, as a matter of fact. But what did you want to say?
Let me tell you something, brother. The absolute debauchery that I just listened to almost derailed me. But nonetheless, something I want to say, as a Haitian immigrant, I was raised by coon parents. I'm just going to tell it like it is. And the brainwashing can be very intense. And as I grew here in the States, there was always this conflict between what my parents felt I should be doing and the expectations of my peers. And there was this friction. And once I got to the point of, trying to find out where I stood, the question was, Jason, do I abandon my black people? And I'm telling you, when I hear the shit that I just heard, it just takes me to that moment of where there was that fear of, oh my God, you're going to destroy everything I got. Oh my God, you're telling me I got to stand up and fight. That fear that he was just expressing, Jason, was the lack of sacrifice that needs to be made. Sacrifice being the key word.
Absolutely, brother.
It is absolutely cowardice.
You've got a bunch of weak individuals. They've never built anything. They've never accomplished anything. And we have allowed them to disrespect. Understand something, brother. When you give people things for free, they usually don't respond with gratitude. Giving people things for free actually doesn't make them respond with gratitude. It actually generates contempt. Either because they feel like you got it unfairly in the first place and you didn't deserve it, or They feel resentment towards you because you've got more than them or you're able to do something for them that they could not do for themselves. So giving them something actually generates contempt. And you know this if you got family members. What do you think happens to folks who win the lottery? What's the first thing their brothers and their sisters, the very folk who grew up with them, their brothers and their sisters, sit up here and bankrupt them? Why? You owe me, nigga. I don't owe you anything. You grew up in the same damn house I did. You could have gone and played the numbers just like I did. And you're my brother. You're not my child. You're my sister. You're not my ward. How did you all of a sudden go from being one of my siblings to being one of my heirs? And what they tell themselves in their minds is, well, damn it, nigga, I grew up in the same house as you. How did you get that? They don't feel grateful. They're not happy for you. They feel entitled. They feel resentful. They've got hostility. And if you won $100 million and you gave them $1 million, they would immediately go blow the whole damn thing and be back at your door a year later talking about, give me another $1 million. And if you don't do it, they're not going to say, well, you know what? It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get the first $1 million. You are the best brother God ever made. They'll say, nigga, you ain't nothing. You owe me another $1 million. What you being stingy for? Are they going to treat you with respect, or are they going to come at you with more contempt after the first $1 million? And that's what we have allowed to happen. Brother Dr. John Henry Clark said it best about when there was conflict between Ethiopians, Nubians, whatnot, that it was about getting your house in order. Yes, I am here to call on us to get our Pan-African house in order. And there cannot be order if you got 1 billion Africans, 1 billion people of African descent, and 1 billion people trying to go in 1 billion different directions. Hell to the no. Freedom and salvation goes in one direction, not 1 billion. And this is about getting our house in order. And getting everybody on the same page. And no, everybody is not going to be happy. A bunch of them have been whitewashed. A bunch of them have been brainwashed. A bunch of them have been subjugated. They've been emotionally dominated. And many of them desire to be so.
Absolutely.
They desire it and they want it.
Useless.
So when we start talking about not being dominated, they start responding to us the way their white supremacist mentality does. They respond to us the same way the white supremacists do. That's the way they respond to us. So no, brother, our generosity is being rewarded with scorn. Our open-mindedness is being rewarded with hostility.
Yes, it is.
Our call for Pan-Africanism is being responded to with venom. And what I'm saying is enough is enough.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely insulting. It's absolutely fucking insulting. All I got to say, Jason, is those of us who are descendants outside of the American diaspora owe you everything for the attention brought to our needs. I just want to say personally, as an individual, anybody that thinks like me, that we thank you, Jason, the ADOS. We thank you for the work that you have committed to secure African freedom and African justice. Have a great night, sir.
Thank you very much for your support, brother. Please do give us a call again. As you all can see, I don't really even use terms like ADOS. I say Pan-Africanism. I say black empowerment because as far as I'm concerned, that's all there is. Now, what I'm pointing out is where there are problems and fractures and distinctions. But at the end of the day, no matter what label you want to give it, you know who is with you and you know who is not. And we got to just keep it 100 and just accept the reality. A bunch of these people aren't with us, never were with us, and been trying to pull off this fraud that they are. And they're not. They're not with us. They never were. They don't want to be. And none of your efforts to try to force them into it are going to make that happen. They're not with us. They're not. I'm just sitting here calling the flat tire what it is. Because if we ever want to correct it, we got to do that. Caller from 347, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hello?
Yes, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Raphael. I'm calling from Miami, Florida.
Raphael, it sounds like you got your mouth covering the phone, or you got your hand over your mouth like you're sitting in the closet and you don't want anybody to hear that you're talking on the line right now. Can you do something about that so folk can make you out?
Yes. Can you hear me better now?
Okay, Raphael, what's on your mind?
What I wanted to say that basically the true, I feel like the true enemy of the people, of the black people, is the Jewish people. Because if you look back in time, they dealt with the slave trade. They actually hijacked the Holocaust.
Okay, the slave trade was started by Arabs. The slave trade was started by Arabs. Now what do you say?
Was started by, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay,
but
the slave trade was
now,
started by Arabs. Now what do you say?
Well, I would say that the Arabs did start it, but the Jewish people profited.
Okay,
from it.
wow. All right, so the Arabs didn't profit from it?
Well, they kind of did, but the Jewish people actually did profit from it.
Okay, so now you want to draw distinctions between the non-black people who profited from the slave trade. This is more of that white supremacist garbage. White supremacists love to say, well, the Jews did this and the Jews did that, because that takes the eyes off of everybody else. If you're talking about Jews, you're not talking about Germans, you're not talking about Brits, you're not talking about the Portuguese, you're not talking about the French. So you're isolating on one group and allowing the entire rest of non-black society to get off the hook. So Negroes like this will be telling us all that the Asians are minorities like us, and the Dominicans are minorities like us, and Mexicans are minorities like us, and that the real problem is Jewish people, and don't mind what's happening in Central America, South America, Mexico, China, Japan, Russia. Don't worry about any of that. The real issue is the Jews, and give everybody else a pass. Brother, dude, what was the highest grade that you completed in school?
What was that?
What was the highest grade that you completed in school?
Oh, college.
Okay, what college did you go to?
Lehman College.
Lehman College. And
yes, sir.
Did you get a diploma or a degree from Lehman College?
A degree.
Oh, and what degree did you get?
Business.
What was that?
Business.
Because you sure don't sound like a business grad mumbling like that. What business company's going to let you run it mumbling like this? Where are you originally from?
Well,
where are you originally from? Did you say you're from Haiti? Where are you originally from?
I'm actually Dominican.
Okay, you're Dominican. And
yeah,
all of your studies of white supremacy led you to focus on one small part of white society and let everything else off the hook.
Well, the reason I say that is because when Chinese people, any people from anywhere around the country come to the United States, and the way they view black people is being portrayed by the Jewish people, because they control the media, they control Hollywood. So whenever Who
controls the media in China? Professor Black Truth did a whole documentary about how the Asian media has always disrespected us with blackface. That wasn't an American creation. So who's responsible for the way that the Asian media portrays us?
Well, that's basically on them.
That's a billion. Whoa, no. That's not just on them. That's a billion people in China. A billion. And look how they treat us. Look how their media treats us. They ain't got nothing to do with Jews. Neither does Japan. Neither does Russia. Neither does South America. You know what? If you got your degree from Lehman, and I seriously doubt you have a degree. I doubt you have a high school diploma. But wherever you got your degree from, if you hurry up right now and call them, I think you can get your money back from the Cracker Jack box it came from. Get this nigga out of here. Caller from 904, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Good evening, Jason. Can you hear me?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Sean, and I'm from Jacksonville.
Sean from Jacksonville. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Something I do now is I do a little Google background check on these suspected coons and bedwenches, TV actors and athletes, and it seems quite often that these people are from the Caribbean or from Africa. Could you flesh out, as only you can do, what might be the ultimate objective for white Hollywood to use these people?
I mean, everything that moves for war. You're up against an organized enemy. They have a strategy. So everything they touch is for their empowerment and their improvement, period. They have an organized plan, and everybody else, well, we don't. I shouldn't say everybody else doesn't, but they have an organized plan. That's all. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Our opposition is prepared. That's the answer. Caller from 704, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, Jason. This is Robert out of Concord, North Carolina.
Robert out of where in North Carolina?
Concord, North Carolina.
All right, brother. What's on your mind?
I appreciate you breaking it down as far as people from Africa and other, places, because, when I would meet them, it would always be confusing because I'd be like, okay, this guy's black. Let me embrace this guy. But then there would be that underlying hostility there. And I'm like, I don't understand, where that's coming from, and by you breaking it down, I understand where the contempt comes from and the underlying meaning of it now, and I appreciate you breaking it down for me like that. And also I had a question as far as, I saw a video with Akon saying that black Americans, if we went to Africa, like, we would do better as far as business is concerned and stuff like that. And I was wondering your thoughts on that too.
I mean, so far, somebody show me where that's happening. You can show me a few isolated individuals. Most of them already have family and ties on the continent. Show me where the doors are thrown open for us with opportunities. Show me the DACA program of Africa for black Americans. Show me that, and then I'll believe it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. When I see that, then I'll believe it. Other than that, no. Caller from 347, you're on live with the Black Channel. Turn off your speakers. I can't believe people are still calling in with the speakers on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, you were told to turn off your speakers. Folks, don't call in with speakers on. Let's get it together. Caller from 916, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Oh, sorry, sir.
All right, another idiot with their speakers on. People, turn off your speakers. Not really sure how many ways to say that. Nobody wants to hear you echoing. Turn off your speakers. Caller from 870, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, how you doing? This is Jason. I'm calling from Arkansas, but I actually live in Texas right now.
Okay, we're at in Texas.
I just want to say thank you. I'm sorry again. DF-Dub area.
All right.
And
Dallas-Fort Worth. Where at in Dallas-Fort Worth, Jason?
I'm off of 30. I would say Dallas, West Dallas.
Okay, that's good enough. What's on your mind?
Well, you're totally correct. Totally correct on the indifference that we have with the diaspora and Africans here. You go into their stores They look at you like man. I just want to say, everybody, stay on your toes, and fight. Black first.
Black first, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from 601. You're on live with the Black Channel.
How you doing, brother? It's good to be on with you. My name is Anthony. I'm calling from Providence.
Okay, Anthony, your phone's got away from your face. Try again.
For sure. My name's Anthony. I'm calling from Providence, Rhode Island. I'm originally from Mississippi.
Okay, Anthony's originally from Mississippi. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a bit to the commentary. I'm here in Providence for school, actually, and I go to Ivy League, and it's filled with, like, immigrants. So I met this guy, like, last evening, and can you hear me good?
No, not really, and if your signal doesn't improve here shortly, I'm going to have to move on. I don't know why your voice keeps going up and down in volume, like either you're moving away from your phone or your phone's moving around, but I can't really stay and fight with it for very long. So can you try to get yourself situated quickly?
How about now? Can you hear me better?
Okay. Why don't you give us the Reader's Digest version of what you want to say?
Yeah, so I met this guy last evening at school. He's from Tanzania, but we was talking about each other's background, and I was telling him I was from the South, and he was actually saying that he's only ever been in the Northeast. But the thing is, this brother is from Tanzania, but he went to private school in South Africa with a whole bunch of whites. And then the first time he touched down in America, it was in Rhode Island at an Ivy League. So he only know like a white perspective. But he's going into media, and he's going to be, he going to have a good job, and he's going to be in a great position. But the people who hire him are going to look at him like he's just a black American because he's gotten over here and he's been a culture to the culture here. But he never hung around like black people from the South. He never been to the South. He only ever been around mostly whites for the most part. So I was just saying, like, I think that's kind of forgotten a lot of times. We don't know these people's background. They come over here and all we get is the immigrant sob story. But this man, he go to Ivy League. First place he ever touched down in America was the Ivy League. How many black folks from the South been to Ivy League? It's not many. But that's all I wanted to add, brother. You're doing a good job. I appreciate it. Keep it up.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, you got to understand, folks, we don't understand how much impact has been made in these foreign countries. We talk about Africa as an idealistic place. But in reality, we don't really know what their mindsets are before they even come over here. And when you want to talk about people, if you want to look up a really good one, go look up the first one of the first anyway, black Nazis. He tried to be a Nazi. His name was Hans Massaquoi. Go look him up. His father was Liberian, and he was actually from a royal family, actually. But go look up the story of Nazi Germany and Hans Massaquoi. Massaquoi. Go look it up. And we've been going into this so damn naive. We as black Americans have been treating other folk from other places so naively because we've been assuming that their experience is our experience. So when you hear places like Tanzania and Liberia and you're thinking, well, no, they've been isolated. No, they've been conquered, man. They've been conquered. And you're going to find out later, you've got this idealistic vision in your head telling yourself that they identify with you. Yeah, he tried very hard to be a Nazi. They wouldn't let him because when Hitler rose to power, you were black. But he tried. His mother was white. His mother was a white German. His dad was Liberian. And he tried very, very, very hard to become a Nazi. He wanted to fit in with the white Germans. But Hans Massaquoi, you can go look that up for yourselves on YouTube. Very fascinating story. He ultimately ended up here in America as a writer. But you have no idea how many other Hans Massaquois there are out there. You're meeting these people by the time they get to America. You don't know their background. You don't know their background. You don't know where they came from. You're just assuming. And that's the most dangerous thing we can do in this environment. Caller from 917, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hello?
Yes, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, what's up? Yeah, Ralph calling from Flatbush.
Ralph calling from Flatbush. What's on your mind?
Yes. I think you're going about this the wrong way, man. You blaming us for shit other people did. That got nothing to do with us.
Okay.
You try to divide us. I think this is what you're doing now.
Okay, who is us?
We all in this together.
Okay, we're all in this
us,
together.
Black folks.
Tariq is going to have a
we
field
all
day.
Together, like black folks.
Tariq's going to have a field. Tariq is going to have a field day with that little bit of sound bite. He's going to have a field day with that. Brother, who is us? Who is you said we're all in this together, and you said make stuff that we're not responsible for. First of all, who is we? Who is the us that you're referring to?
Us, black folks in America.
Okay, you don't sound like you're originally from America.
You blaming.
You don't sound like you're originally from America.
I come from Haiti.
Okay, so you're not. So you're not a black American. Okay, so you're not a black American.
I'm not a black American.
Okay, you said
I
us.
support ADOS. I think you guys should get reparation.
Okay.
You definitely need reparation.
Okay.
But you make it seem like we trying to stop you. You blaming everybody for what the couple. You have coons. We have coons. That got nothing to do with us.
But we actually handle ours. The difference between you and us is we handle ours. There is no culture of accepting them. That's the difference.
But you got to know there's a difference.
No, there's not.
Between
we don't make a safe space.
There's a big difference between us.
We don't make a safe space for the coons. There is no safe space in America for the coons. That's the difference.
Yeah, but your coons are the one that's talking now.
Who are you talking about?
The Roland Martin.
Okay, Roland Martin who got run off of TV.
Louder.
You mean the Roland Martin who got run off of TV and is blaming all of us now for all of his troubles? You mean that one?
They're the one who got the biggest jobs. They're the one who on TV1.
Sir, Roland is not on TV1 anymore. What the hell are you talking about? Roland's not on TV1 anymore.
But they're not going to give you that job.
But I don't. First of all, I don't want it.
They're going to give Roland that job.
Okay, first of all, Roland can't get the job now. Nobody can get the job. And second of all, I don't want the job because I'm bigger than that position. That would be a step down for me. And third of all, who do they give it to?
We have a coon problem.
No.
Every nation have a coon problem.
Tell me who they gave the job to. Tell me who's got that job at TV1. The one that Roland Martin had. Tell me who's got that job now.
I don't know. I don't even watch that shit.
Thank you. Nobody's got it is the point. We diminished our coons, the safe spaces for them. We eliminated them. There's a coon factory over there in Haiti. And instead of you being over there in Haiti and the Dominican Republic handling that, you're over here talking about everything's fine when you should be over there annihilating safe spaces for coondom.
Oh, you think we could just go over there?
Wow, here come the excuses.
And do whatever we want?
Okay, we're 13% of the population over here. You were a hell of a lot more than that over there. What's your excuse?
Oh, so you think it's that easy? I could just go over there, go back home, and go say whatever I want?
No, it's not easy when you're a coward. No, it's not easy when you're a coward. No. It's not easy.
You think it's just easy like that? You get killed for shit like that.
Okay, you can get killed over here in
Talking-
America.
you see the
You
way-
go,
you
we
see
get killed over
talking
here in
the way
America.
You talking like right now? You get killed for shit like that.
You get killed over here in America. Darren Seals got
Nah,
killed over here in
nah,
America.
Nah, it's totally different.
Khalid Muhammad
over
got
here,
killed here in America. Malcolm X got killed here in America. Dr. King got killed here in America. Medgar Evers got killed here in America. Fred Hampton got killed here in America. We can go down the damn list of black folk who got killed right here in America, and you gonna tell me that getting killed is your cowardly excuse for why you ain't gonna do nothing. That's a coward talking.
Oh, it's not as easy as you think, man.
Nothing is easy for a coward. There's nothing easy for a coward. You're going to have to shed blood wherever you are. You're going to have to shed blood wherever you are. You're talking, it ain't easy. No, that's no excuse for not doing it. Because it's hard is your excuse for not doing it. We did it over here. But we're 13% of the population. We did it over here. You're 95% of the population and got excuses for me. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here with this coward talk. He's sitting on Flatbush Avenue with no accomplishments.
I'm just,
You're sitting on Flatbush Avenue, no wins. You've won no battles. You've won none over here. You won none over there, and telling us about
none
what
of
can't
us
be
is
done.
winning. We are losing. Remember that.
If we're all losing, then why did you come over here and we didn't go over there?
We are losing.
Okay, if we losing, why are you over here and we're not trying to get over there? If we losing.
What do you mean?
If we are losing, then why did you come over here and we're not? Okay,
we came here for the U.S. dollar. That's all we came here for.
Oh, but,
we didn't come here to get involved in your business.
Oh, so you mean that we ain't losing? Y'all were losing over there, and you came over here where we ain't losing. That's what you meant. You meant that. You meant you came over here where you meant you came over here where we were winning. Because you were losing over there, so you came here where we were winning. I think that's what you meant to say. You saw us winning.
Away from you.
You saw us winning over here.
You saw us winning away from you.
No, you saw us winning over here, and you said, "Damn, we losing over here in the Dominican Republic. Let's go over there where they are winning." I think that's what you meant to say.
No, that's not how it works. Come on.
I think that's what you meant to say.
We're not taking jobs from you.
Excuse me, you wouldn't even be able to get anything at all if it weren't for us. Clearly, you know nothing about history. You'd have been shot before you could have gotten off the plane. You don't even know your basic facts of history. It's not. It's because of us that it's even legal.
Y'all wasn't giving. You didn't have the red carpet for us when we got here.
No, we made the carpet.
It's white folks was giving those jobs. It's white folks is using us against you.
So you think So you think that white folk gave you the right to come over here? You think white folk rolled out a red carpet and allowed you to come here? You mean that white folk had laws already in place that they put there that we had nothing to do with to allow you to get here? You clearly don't even know your basic history. You should be embarrassed. You don't know your basic history. They had laws to prevent Africans, immigrants of any stripe from any destination from coming here. They had laws to do that. And clearly you know nothing about it. The entire civil rights struggle, Jim Crow and everything else was to overturn that. They were allowing the Irish, they were allowing the Asians, and they had laws and regulations and statutes. Go look up Woodrow Wilson to make sure that people of African descent weren't going to be allowed over here.
Okay, so why?
Wow, okay, you're done. Now you're done.
So how we took something away from you?
Because
we didn't put those laws here.
No, we were the ones who put those laws there that made it where they could allow you to be here. We're the ones who fought for that.
Okay. Thank you for that. What else?
That's it. Bow down.
So what else did we do? What else did we do to you? What else?
No, you have not shown the proper respect to us over there.
What proper respect over where?
We shed we shed blood
over there in Haiti.
No,
I don't
we
know what
are
you're talking
not.
about.
No, there is no DACA program.
How?
There is
You
no
guys don't
DACA
show
program.
up.
No.
You guys don't show up in Haiti. Y'all go somewhere else.
Where is the DACA program?
Y'all don't come visit us like that.
Where is the DACA program for us in Haiti and the Dominican Republic? Where's the DACA program for us?
DACA got nothing to do with us. That's Hispanic shit. That got nothing to do with us. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there are plenty of African immigrants who are trying to get protection under DACA too. Now, where is our DACA program in Haiti and the Dominican Republic?
We got, I forgot the name. There was something else for us.
There's
it's for
nothing
the earthquake
else.
shit. I forgot how you call it.
Okay, no special program. You didn't have to. Being allowed over here isn't the result of a special program. It's the result of us opening the doors to give you the same ability as Europeans and Asians and other non-blacks. Now you need to go over there and shed some blood so we can get this Pan-Africanism popping on an even keel. No more leeching off of us and then claiming that we're all in this together. You haven't put any skin in the game, but talking about we in this together.
What we gonna share? What we gonna share with you guys? There's nothing over there to share with.
Okay,
what we got?
That's the problem. We
got the U.S. Army over there. The U.S. Army is still over there.
We're 13.
What we gonna share?
Excuse me, the U.S. Army is over there, mother. Negro, where's the U.S. Army over? You act like the U.S. Army isn't here. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so
the U.S. Army ain't here?
You're pointing at us. What, you're not talking at them?
So the U.S. Army isn't here in America? So the U.S. Army is in the Dominican Republic, but it ain't here. We didn't have to overcome the U.S. military in America. You got the U.S. military sitting in the Dominican Republic, but there's no U.S. military in America that we had to deal with. Brother, the more you talk, the worse this gets.
But like I said,
you ain't put no skin in the game.
I don't know.
You put no skin in the game. Where the beef comes from, no skin being in the game.
Beef, high school beef. You try to bring back high school stuff.
You have put no skin in the game. That's that talk right there. They used to talking to these hoes like that. And they come over here to America and talk to us like we're hoes. If you don't get the hell out of here with this nonsense. Oh, yeah, and are we still in it together? Are we still in this together?
What are you talking about?
You said that we're all in this together. Do you still believe that?
Yes, I believe we're all in this together. If somebody's cooning, blame them.
Okay.
But everybody else is not the same. We don't see the world like they see the world.
So
we're not over here casing ass like they do. If somebody, those people just trying to keep their job. We understand that.
Yeah, we just trying to keep our jobs.
They keep their job. They will do anything.
Let's just keep our heads low. We just trying to keep our jobs. Let's keep our heads low. Brother, Pan-Africanism is a two-way street, and y'all need to put as much skin in the game as we have. There is a tremendous deficit where we done put a ton of skin in the game, and everybody else is capitalizing on it. No, stop, full tilt, enough. Everybody got to put the same amount in. But this idea that everybody's going to come to America and leech off of our accomplishments, and we're looking around saying, okay, where's the skin in the game for us anywhere else? Oh, no, we're just going to see how far we can ride what you got popping over here. It's not going to work that way. Everybody's got a pull. And everybody we're 13% of the population. We didn't make excuses. And everybody in places where they're 95% of the population, all the things we overcame at 10% of the population, they're telling us they can't get it done being 95% of the population. No, that's because you have a much higher tolerance for coonery and cowardice than we have. And I'm saying enough. Start being better people and start being a man. You don't tolerate that. We're just going to give it up here and let's see what more we can get from y'all. No, nada. You know what? I'm such a generous person. I'll let you have the last word.
shout out to ADOS. I'm a big fan. I support you guys. It's all love. Black first.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Brothers and sisters, understand something. It's no beef. It is no beef. It is no beef at all. None. No beef whatsoever. We are getting our house in order. Understand, that's all it is. We're getting our house in order. We're all in this together until the white supremacists show up. Then is, hey, we can't do nothing. The U.S. military is sitting over there. Like the U.S. military isn't sitting right here in New York. Like the U.S. military ain't sitting right here off Flatbush Avenue. Like the U.S. military is not sitting in D.C. Like the U.S. military isn't sitting right here. We're in the U.S. and he's talking like the U.S. military is running things everywhere, but they're weak in the U.S. If listening to him, well, they strong in the Dominican Republic, but they weak. They weak where you at. That's why you can get so much done. They stronger. Man, look here. This is nonsense. It is time to get our house in order. What black Americans have been up to this point is the dammy bastard stepchildren like Sweeney Todd or David Copperfield. We have allowed them to abuse us. And the first step in establishing and reestablishing respect is letting them know the level of abuse that we have endured. And to say that it's time for you to put skin in the game. We're facing down dogs. We're facing down guns. We're facing down vigilantes. I can go down the whole damn list of black folk. He talking about black folk. Well, if we stand up, they'll kill us over there. Hell, they've been killing us over here. We never let that be our excuse. Well, it's different. No, it ain't different. So our dead black bodies in America are different than the dead ones in Haiti and the Dominican Republic? That's coward talk. No more excuses. Everybody wants to figure out, brothers and sisters, there will be no unity without sacrifice. There will be no progress without sacrifice. And everybody's trying to figure out how they can get something and sacrifice nothing. So the black Americans got to sacrifice everything and nobody else sacrifices nothing. They just get to sit here and coast off of us. They just get to sit here and coast off of our sacrifices, but they ain't got to put in any of their own. No, that we're not done sacrificing. There's going to be a hell of a lot more sacrificing to be done. But this idea that now we got more Africans in America than we've ever had before, and the only people still sacrificing are going to be the descendants of the slaves, but everybody else, we're going to make the rising tide that lifts the boats of everybody else who didn't sacrifice? So we shed the blood and you get the benefits. Oh, no, you will eat what you kill and you will benefit from where you have put in. But you're gonna have to put in work. And this is a shock to your system because we ain't talked to you like this before now. I've been saying this now over a decade from this microphone, that there's been a tremendous discrepancy and disparity between black folk in America and black folk in Africa. I was the first person to sit up here and say that black people in America are going to have to teach Africans Pan-Africanism. And truth be said, going to have to teach them Africanism. No, brothers and sisters, it ain't no hate and it ain't no beef. We are getting our house in order, and I am simply explaining the terms upon which it will be done. All hands on deck. Everybody be prepared to sacrifice. Caller from 717, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, what's going on, Jason, man? How are you? Calling from York, Pennsylvania.
What's your name?
Oh, you call me Fro. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, what's on your mind?
Hey, man, I'm sorry, man. This is for the hassle because I'm at work. Listen, I don't even want to talk to you, bro. Listen, I don't even want to talk to you. I want to talk to the first gens, and I want to talk to immigrants. I'm a first gener. I'm one of them old-ass niggas you been talking about and all that. People, when Jason is talking about getting our house in order, I like to say, just stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. I was born in this country. I was raised in this country, but I consider myself like multicultural. We were raised talking bad about black people. We were raised to stay away from black people. We were raised to say, oh, look at those bums on the corner. Oh, they not doing this and they not doing that. And don't fucking front. Excuse me for cursing, but don't fucking front, because you know that's exactly how we were raised. Let me tell y'all something about this ADOS and reparations and everything. We're not going to get anywhere if we don't love black people. We got to love black first. You got to be black first. And just get off the bullshit. Just please get off the bullshit. You know, you can see the roll-ins and the coons in the Caribbean culture and the coons in the black culture, whatever. Yo, dude, I'm so fucking angry, man. You know, the way people are coming at black people. People, fam, they don't know that I'm Haitian. Like, I'm one of those, like, dudes that grew up and you wouldn't know I was Haitian unless you talked to me or unless, like, you asked me or something like that. So it's like I didn't fit in here, I didn't fit in there, whatever. What I'm saying to the immigrant and to the first geners, stay in your damn lane. If you support ADOS, do what you got to do. Love black people. Stay on point. Spend your money with black people. And, you know, we're going to do our politic thing. Keep it like that. But otherwise, what was it? STFU? STFU. All right? If Jason, if you want to say something, brother, before I go for it.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call. I think you said it all. Thank you very much. Brothers and sisters, I'm not South African, but I fought against apartheid. Damn it. And I'm still on the case against it today. I don't live in South Africa. Stopping apartheid was never going to be a benefit to me. Reparations against the apartheid regime, I'm not eligible, but I still support it. I support the reclamation of land without compensation. But guess what? I'm a descendant of slaves in America. I'm not eligible for one speck of land in South Africa, and this microphone has been nothing short of a blowtorch. It's been nothing short of a flamethrower to demand the reclamation of land without compensation in South Africa, even though I will never receive a speck of dirt from the sacred soil of South Africa. I didn't sit up here and say, well, you know, we all was fighting for y'all during that time back in the 80s and the 90s and today, and Mandela got out, and, you know, we was all on the case for you there, so you can't just say it's gonna be for y'all now. It need to be for everybody if you don't sit your ass down. This isn't a damn take. This isn't up for exploitation. This is the sacred crusade of African people to correct the greatest human atrocity in the history of humanity. Not gonna sit up here and try to turn this into a damn me welfare stealing scheme. We are here to fight for the good of all Africans everywhere with no regard for personal benefit or enrichment for ourselves. I'm here to fight on behalf of South Africans because it is what is due us as a people, not because it personally helps me. When it's time for them to collect, I'm going to fall back and I'm going to smile with the biggest smile you ever saw in the world as my people receive what they are supposed to. Because in this situation, it is not mine to get, it is mine to give. It is not for me to take. It is for them to receive. And the greatest accomplishment I can have is making sure that they receive what they are due. But what these people are really upset about is what they're saying is that they don't want us to get anything, that if they can't get something, that they only support us as long as they can get something out of it. They'll only support us if there's something in it for them. And they're not willing to accept the satisfaction. Your payment will be the satisfaction of knowing that we have gotten restitution. No, that's not enough. We're all in this together. You need to let us all get together on this. No. And the terms need to be clearly spelled out. Caller from 678, it sounds like you're calling from a matter transporter.
Hello?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Desi. I am in Dallas, Texas. I was just going to comment on a couple of things that you had said. I first want to say that you are awesome. I enjoy all your DVDs, and I enjoy watching your podcasts, and I try to catch every one of them. If I don't, I go back to it. But I wanted to go ahead and touch on one thing that you had said about Pan-Africanism, and I know that I was watching Yvette Carnell on her episode, on her podcast, and, you know, when you really talk about the Africans or the dark-skinned immigrants that come over here, you're right. They do not really respect the ADOS or the Black Americans in America, nor do they even want to acknowledge that we exist. And touch on a couple of the callers that had commented on the fact that they don't take anything from us. That's not true. When you talk about the colleges and college scandals and all that stuff, when you start looking at affirmative action, you know, they are used in place of us because they are quote unquote Black, so they fit in for that affirmative action. So that gives quote unquote white people or white supremacy, white fragility, actually, to actually acknowledge that ADOS should have been getting those positions. When you talk about jobs and stuff like that, they're the ones selected for like the high-ranking IBM positions because they have gotten into those Ivy League schools.
Well, it goes beyond just that. It goes beyond just that. First of all, you can't make anything of yourself if you don't have opportunity. Beyond the schools, beyond the jobs, you can't make anything of yourself if you don't have opportunity. And what we did was we sacrificed so that a country that wrote it into its constitution, the supreme law of the land, that we were not even persons, recognized our humanity. You had to get that done before you could do anything else. I don't give a damn how good of a degree you got. If you go into a place that doesn't even recognize you as a human being, then absolutely nothing is going to happen. And if you're going to a place where it's open season on lynching you, the Mann Act, where they can control your reproduction and your freedom of movement, and your Jim Crow laws and your sundown towns. No, we gave them a place where you would actually have the opportunity to do anything. And we were only 10% of the population. So they got plenty. I don't have to define it as them taking, but they received plenty from us. And what I'm saying is, now that you have received, you are required to, in the words of Vince McMahon, give back to the business. It is now incumbent on you that you got to give back to the business. We sacrificed and shed blood and laid down our lives so that you would have opportunities here. It is time for you to expand that. But this idea that everything is about exploiting us, everything is about what you can get from us, and we supported you coming over here even though that does us no benefit whatsoever. None whatsoever. And yet once you get here, all of a sudden, you're not going to support you. All of a sudden, you get hostile about reparations if it doesn't benefit you. That's disrespect on a heinous level. And the problem has been that up until now, we've allowed that. but now we're not allowing it anymore. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get another caller from 678. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Yes, good morning, Jason. This is Marcus. I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
You said good morning. Is that what you really meant to say?
I'm sorry?
You said good morning. Is that really what you meant?
No, I said good evening. It's evening here.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Yes, insofar as white supremacy is a global system that dominates all aspects of human activity, it seems that it will require a global solution. I think the main issue that impacts black people globally is a lack of contextual awareness as to how white supremacy actually functions and how it impacts their day-to-day lives. I think what you and others like Tariq Nasheed and Professor Black Truth are doing insofar as forming an alternative form of media are pivotal in this, because we need a collective nationalistic reconditioning process so that we can all be on the same page about our common oppressor and how they're in fact employing that oppression. I don't think that it's necessarily healthy to, as Rome would have done, draw schisms amongst ourselves. I can appreciate the practical observations and pointing out of how we're not collectively working in a solid in the capacity of solidarity, but I think that can sometimes distract us. And
where
people
are
like
you
need
from
to bring us back
originally?
into focus.
Where are you from originally?
Me?
Where's your family from?
My family is both from the United States, so I have that historical background as well, but a large part of my family is also from the Caribbean.
Okay, because you have an
So
accent.
I've
Because
been
you have an
privy- I've been
accent.
privy to
Because you
both
have an accent.
perspectives.
Because you have an accent.
Okay.
Because you have an accent. And I noticed that is a lot of folk with accents calling up tonight talking about how we're all in this together and we shouldn't have schisms. Meanwhile, y'all have created the damn schisms. Let's just keep it 100.
That's not true, Jason.
You all created
That's
the
not
schisms.
true. White
Excuse me.
people have created
Brother,
the schisms to distract us
brother,
and keep us from being
let,
able
let
to
me make
focus
something
on what
clear.
they're doing to us.
Let me make something clear to you. When I'm talking, fall back.
We actively participate in our own
Excuse-
oppression. I will
okay,
concede
let me
that,
try
but we have
this
been
one
trained
more
to do that.
time. Let me
That's
try
what
this
I'm
once.
saying.
I'm going to try this once more time. When I'm talking, fall back. That'll be the
I'm
last.
listening to you.
That'll be the last time I tell you. When you hear me talking,
Sure.
you fall back. Show some respect. This ain't back in the Caribbean where y'all make up the rules as you go along. You're going to show respect here. You all have put no skin in the game. That's just the brutal truth. You come over here and you got benefits. We don't have any benefits waiting for us in the Caribbean. We didn't create the schisms. People from outside created the schisms. All I'm doing is acknowledging them. All we're doing is acknowledging what's already there. We didn't create this Akata talk. We didn't create any of this animosity with us. Caribbeans don't come to America and gel with native black people. They ain't got nothing to do with white folk. Jamaicans don't come to America and gel with black people.
Point, Jason.
Okay, shut up.
Might I attempt to clarify?
Okay,
what my position is?
I'm here to talk. I don't need you to clarify anything. Dominicans do not come to America to gel with black people. We didn't create any schisms. The schisms are already there. We didn't create any of them. These other folk created them. We're the ones who accept everybody, which is why you got those people, Caribbeans and Dominicans and everything else, all in our families. We didn't create any schisms. We're identifying the schisms that others of you have created and harbored. And nobody wants to take responsibility for it, and everybody wants to pretend like it's not there, and we're wrong simply for calling it out. We're calling out what is there. White folk are all over the damn Caribbean. Nobody is giving us a right of return. Nobody is offering us dual citizenship. The red carpet is rolled out over here. No similar red carpet is rolled out anywhere else. Pan-Africanism exists over here. It just doesn't exist anywhere else. But the white folk got it. Now, the white folk got Pan-Africanism in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, in the Virgin Islands, in Africa. They got Pan-Africanism. But when it comes time to us talking about, hey, where's this two-way street? All of a sudden, there isn't one. So no, we're correct in what we're saying. No, we're not creating any schisms. No, the white folk didn't create it. They took advantage of what was already there because we can't get cooperation from the Caribbean today. That's got nothing to do with white folk. We're not getting cooperation from them today. Right now, as we speak, there's no part of the Caribbean that is inviting black Americans to come and invest. They rolled out the carpet for the Asians, however. There's no part of the Bahamas that's rolling out the red carpet for black people to invest. They rolled it out for the Chinese with a multi-billion-dollar resort. They rolled it out for them. There's no part of the Jamaica that's rolling out the red carpet inviting us to come over there. And that ain't white folks. There's no white people stopping them from doing that. Like there's no white people stopping them from in Haiti, stopping them in the Dominican Republic, stopping them in the Virgin Islands. There's nobody stopping them from doing that.
Jason, that's not true. All black people throughout the globe suffer from colonialism and neocolonialism, and part of that system was misinformation and
Name
division.
the white people in
What
the
you're
Caribbean.
doing is-
Name
what
the
you're-
white
what
people
you're-
who
what
are
you're
stopping the
speaking to
Caribbean
is
from doing
remedying
it.
by pointing it out.
Name
That's
for me.
fine.
Name
But-
for me the white people who are stopping the Caribbean from inviting us over. Name the names of the white folk who
No,
are
I'm
preventing it.
speaking to institutions like IMF and World Bank. I'm
Okay.
speaking to
Tell me the
the
IMF.
political apparatus employed by white supremacists
Okay,
to do the very thing you're talking about.
Name for me what the IMF has done to allow whites and Asians into the Caribbean to invest and prevent black Americans. Name the exact thing that they've done.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the text "Confessions of an Economic Hitman,"
Yes,
which
no, but that
outlines how
that
they've
doesn't
been
pr- that
deployed
didn't-
by the IMF and World Bank to economically sabotage spaces in
Okay, but
Africa
how does
and the
that prevent
Caribbean,
us? Okay,
and
but
to
how
prop up-
no. That doesn't explain why they're not bringing us over.
I don't think I understand your
Okay,
question.
all you can do is talk about the whites and the Asians were invited over to invest. You're not. Conventions of an Economic Hitman does not explain why they haven't invited us.
Well, because they're not trained and taught to. That's what I'm saying. That's part of
all
the
right.
schism that's been put
It's
in
the
place.
culture. No, it's the culture. It's the culture.
Right,
And you're
but
using white.
who's informed that culture? That's what I'm saying.
The
'Cause when we
mothers
talk
and
about different
fathers.
regions of the globe, we're generally talking about white people's influence
The
on those
mothers
spaces.
and fathers inform the culture, and white folk have become a scapegoat for treason within our ranks. Y'all are gonna try to prop up white folk as your excuse for why you haven't made a move.
No, it's not. It's not an excuse. It's an empirical fact.
It's an empirical fact that over there in the Caribbean, they bow at the feet of white folk and get me a white man and I want some light-skinned children is an epidemic.
Yes, but who instilled that type of self-hatred?
The mothers,
that was done through a seasoning,
the
conditioning
mothers
process,
and
Jason.
fathers.
You know this as well as I do.
The mothers and fathers instilled it.
But who instilled it in them?
They were buying. The white.
This wasn't arbitrary.
The white
this
folk
happened as a
wouldn't be.
result of slavery and colonialism.
The white folk wouldn't be
Irrespective, I think
selling if you
I
weren't
think
buying.
Your platform is part of the solution. I think your platform is part of the solution, Jason, insofar as you can point and outline these things in such a way as the collective can understand
The
what's
white
happening.
folk would not
So I
be
think
selling if you weren't buying. They would not be selling if you weren't buying.
What choice was there to buy? That's
Wow,
no different than what happened
okay.
here in the Americas.
Okay, here in
Where
America, we
there's the
said
same type of
here in America, black folks said freedom or death, and you're sitting up here talking about what are our choices. Your choice is to tell them kick rocks.
black people throughout the globe face death when they challenge white supremacy.
Okay,
Jason.
but who's actually produced anything? Show me the black.
Who's producing what?
Show me the black folk in the Caribbean who are dying fighting white supremacy. Name them.
Well, last I checked, you had the Maroons, you had Aquapong, you had Marcus Garvey, you had Malcolm X, and all others. And I'm not saying that there should be even divisions with regard to
first of all,
ideology there.
wait a minute, Marcus Garvey. There were black folk in the Caribbean. Marcus Garvey was in the Caribbean leading black folk fighting white supremacy in the Caribbean. Really? Did you really just say that?
He began the Pan-African movement in the Caribbean.
Okay, and what happened?
He brought it here to the Americas.
Okay,
and
why did he have to come?
That's what in fact informed
Where was
Malcolm
his
X and
support?
others
Where was his
to
support in
perpetuate
Jamaica?
that ideology.
Where was Marcus?
Of a collective.
Where was Marcus Garvey's
challenge
support
to white supremacy?
Where was
because we all
Where
globally
was
face the
Marcus
same
Garvey's?
challenge and
Where was
issue.
Marcus Garvey's support in Jamaica? Where was his support in Jamaica?
He didn't have it in the government because that's what I was saying before.
He didn't have it with the people.
Wherein
he didn't have
they
it with the
They
people.
removed themselves and placed people that look like the oppressed indigenous population who actually act on the behest of the colonialists. You know this as well as I.
Where was
all
the
of
masses?
This support in the Caribbean came from the grassroots, just like in North and South America.
Marcus Garvey had throngs of people in America.
It didn't come from higher society.
Marcus Garvey had throngs of people in America who came to him. Tell me where the throngs of people were in Jamaica when he went back there.
Supporting him?
Yes, where were they? That's not the
As
government.
I said, they were at the grassroots level.
Where were they? Where
just
were
like
they?
Many other movements, it didn't take on momentum until well after he was gone.
Okay,
That often happens
it had
with people
momentum
that
in
are prophetic.
America. It had momentum in America.
But he understood that it's a global system, just like you do.
Okay,
And
then
all of
why
us
didn't
face
Jamaica
the
see that?
reverberations of the system, irrespective of where we find ourselves.
But the only place
what's
that
dangerous about what's
supported
the
it,
same.
the only place and the only people who supported it were in America. In Jamaica, they didn't support him before he left, and they didn't support him when he came back. Not the government, the people didn't support him. The average citizen in Jamaica didn't support him. Not before and
I think
not
that
after.
demonstrates your ignorance. He's a national hero in Jamaica.
It doesn't-
And to
no.
that point, even when Barack came to visit,
It does
Barack didn't
not.
even acknowledge this man.
That does not represent
And still held
ignorance.
him as a criminal. Could have removed his record.
That doesn't
in the
represent
Americas. And he didn't
ignorance.
do that.
That doesn't represent ignorance. That
And again,
represents
because
cowardice.
he is a puppet of white supremacy. But we're getting really off topic.
No,
we
we're
should be
not.
talking about the solution.
Jamaicans were not
And the
ignorant.
solution-
Jamaicans were cowardly. Jamaicans were not ignorant. They were cowardly. The word is cowardice. Marcus Garvey didn't have support from the average Jamaican citizen before he left. He only got support here in America. When he went back, he had no support when he got back. The only place that he had support is the only place he's still got support today. Black people in America made him a living legend, and after he died, we made him an icon. That wasn't the white government that prevented Jamaicans from acknowledging him. Bob Marley responded to the American zeitgeist. Don't you dare try to sit up here and act like that was some homegrown movement. Bob Marley responded to the American zeitgeist. Bob Marley responded to what we did in America. Bob Marley didn't just jump up and do that on his own. Jamaica responded to what we did here in America. There was no homegrown grassroots movement of support for Garveyism on Jamaican soil. Jamaica didn't acknowledge Marcus Garvey until well after he was dead, and it was only because of us. They never respected his work, and his work was Pan-Africanism. The Caribbean never respected Pan-Africanism, and to this day, Caribbeans believe the highest form of social attainment is actually to go to Britain. To this day.
English
Get
and
off the
Portuguese
phone.
and invited every.
Caller from 704, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hello?
Yes, you're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Cecilia, and I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Cecilia from Charlotte, what's on your mind?
Yes. Well, I was calling to see if you heard about the reparations that the Aboriginals in Australia got to try. That they won a court case that they reached. The first part is 1.5 billion, I believe, and they supposed to get more for the land being taken and for their rights of worshiping their own God.
Yeah, there's a movement to get concessions for Aborigines, but true concessions would be their land back.
Well, that's what they're supposed to be getting back. They said with the money, they're supposed to be getting their land back as well.
Let's try this a different way, ma'am. 500 years ago, how many white people were in Australia, what you call Australia, 500 years ago? New Zealand, 500 years ago. How many white folk were there?
I'm not really sure. It shouldn't be none.
Okay.
Because they had over 600 tribes of Aboriginal people.
Okay, but do you get my point now?
Mm-hmm.
So when I say true reparations would be their land back, and you say, well, that's what they're doing. Oh, so they're planning on giving their land back? Actually, no, they're not.
Okay.
Actually, no, they're not. Now, I'm not saying.
Okay, and then I'm
not saying that they shouldn't get reparations. I'm not saying they shouldn't get compensation. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, don't fall for the trick bag, because if reparations is simply okay, here's a check, and you're still on the outside looking in. Let's just be very, very clear. That's not those people's land to begin with, and the check is gonna have to be a hell of a lot bigger than even what they're discussing, because they haven't paid anything. They haven't paid them nothing. But what they're discussing, well, we're going to give you a check and we're going to give you some land out in the middle of the desert somewhere. Because understand something, in America, that was a con game too. Take a look at what they did with the Native Americans. We're going to give you reservations. 140 years later, how reservation land is some of the most worthless in America. A century and a half later, there isn't one single plot of Native American reservation land that is considered by anybody to be prime real estate. Now, Bugsy Siegel,
that's true.
Bugsy Siegel turned the desert of Las Vegas into some of the most prime real estate on the planet. But Native Americans haven't been able to do that here in America. So what I'm telling you is they both go hand in hand. They both go hand in hand.
Okay, and
the land, not a little bit of it, and the financial resources to get you where you're supposed to be. It goes hand in hand. I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, I also want to address that they keep saying only through the census will the ADOS receive reparations. But people forget there are tons of records of where they took land from people, the laws, the names of the people that they stole it from, just like in 1970 where they totally chased out the black people from Asheville, North Carolina. They know who they killed. They know who they took the businesses from. So why don't we, address all that first, and also the laws like war on drugs, and also the prisoners that was in prison for no reason.
Yes,
all that
we've mentioned that
already. Is well documented. Why can't they use any of that?
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Determine who to start giving reparations to.
Right. Reparations is not a singular thing. Reparations is an umbrella term, and it encompasses, once again, for those of you who haven't been listening here in very long, when I say reparations, I'm referring to educational reparations, judicial reparations, social reparations, media reparations, every aspect of the society that has disenfranchised us, oppressed us, stolen from us, everything that has harmed us owes us reparations, not just one central part of it. So yes, we are due reparations in every aspect of this society. First and foremost, beginning with economic reparations, because you're not going to get everything else until you get that. So with the Aborigines and whatnot, yeah, it starts with the economic reparations, but it can't be no pennies. And then we can discuss everything else. But this idea, okay, let me fling this check and whatnot. Yeah, we got to do that first. Absolutely, we got to do that first. But let there be no mistake about this. It begins with the check, and then it goes on to everything else. But if they try to do everything else without the check, it ain't going to work. So that's why we got to start with the check first, because you can get the rest of that when you get the check. We've been trying to get everything else without the check, and how's that working out for us? So that's the reason why I tell everybody it's going to be a holistic approach to it. It's multifaceted, but we start with the check, but of course we keep marching on everything else. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Please do give us a call again here. I'm going to check on the line here. Let me see. Caller from 347, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Yeah, Mr. Black, this is Kwame from Atlanta.
Kwame from Atlanta, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just want to know, I see everybody on the ADOS movement, and there's a lot of animosity for blacks from outside of the country.
Not true.
Because
not true.
I know
that's
a lot
untrue.
of you guys
That's
be
not true.
Yo, all of these blacks
that's
from
not
outside
true,
of the country
sir.
are coons.
That's not
but
true.
A lot of us, we do think you guys deserve reparations, and even if you guys get reparations over here in America, that would set the standard for everybody else to get reparations worldwide.
Okay, there's
so
no
I don't
animosity.
Understand why.
There is no animosity. Stop! Don't tell that lie. There is no animosity towards black folk who are not from America. That's a lie. So stop telling that lie. That's a lie.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know that.
Okay, but you already knew it. But you already knew. But you already knew it. You already knew it.
No, from the tone that you're talking to everybody else, and from all the people in the chat room, that's what it feels like.
It's not
it feels
about
like
tone.
Everybody feels like they're a victim of black people from other places, whereas when we come over here, we get treated the same exact way you guys get treated.
Right, but the problem is a lot of that, you don't get treated the same way we get treated because there are no black people over here.
Yes, we do.
Excuse
the cops
me.
don't stop us and ask
Excuse
us,
me.
are you from the Caribbean
Kwame.
before they shoot us? The cops don't ask you none of that.
Kwame, pump your brakes, brother. When I'm talking, fall back. You do not get treated the same way that we do. Because when you all come over here, and I noticed your accent, when you come over here, you get together in communities of people who are from where you came from. You don't come over here and just say, I am going to integrate into black society. You segregate yourselves in communities of people where you come from. You do not integrate with us. You associate to a limited degree. You don't integrate with us. That does not happen. Yeah, you can name one or two as individuals, but as a group, no, you maintain your separate identity from us and revel in it and say little slick, disrespectful stuff about us behind our backs or to our faces. But no, you do not go through what we go through because there is nada, none, zero places in America you can go where a black person from Africa can come over here, where black Americans have gotten together as a group and treat you as an outsider. No, you do not go through what we go through. When I go to New York, they got the Somalian areas, the Ethiopian areas, and I have never, ever felt like a brother in any of those places. None. Not a one. But any of them can come down to Harlem on any corner to a descendant of the slaves, and he's treated like the rest of us. He's treated like a brother off the bat. But we can't go where you are from and get treated like that. We're treated as outsiders. The white folk get treated better than us. The white people get treated way better than us when they go among non-descendants of slaves in America, and we need to level with that and keep it real and say that's what it is, and stop lying and acting like this is some exception to the rule. No, this is the rule. This is what's going on. You are not experiencing what we experience.
Mr. Black, can I say something then? Okay. It's like this. The way you guys don't have mass media to like tell your story to the rest of the world, right? So the way the rest of the world sees you is the way white supremacy portrays Black America. So in a lot of cases, many people from outside of the country, they view you in a negative light because you're seen in a negative light by them, because they can't get to, they're not, a lot of them aren't even tuned into your programs. They don't even know about Tariq Nasheed. They don't know about a lot of the conscious community. They don't even know what ADOS is.
But
so
those
the
are
thing
excuses.
is, it's not to say, like, I mean,
those
every
are
single person
excuses.
outside of all Black people feel the same way.
But those are excuses.
And when you guys go to other countries, you can't say that as a whole, like all of these countries treat you like shit, because that's not even true.
That's excuses.
That's not true.
Those are excuses. Those are excuses. Oh, they're not ADOS. They weren't raised in America. Those are excuses. White supremacy is global. And every time we turn around, there's a damn excuse for it. Marcus Garvey came from Jamaica, and yet Jamaica didn't respond like Garvey. That's no excuse. If Garvey knew it, the rest of Jamaica knew it. They're just making up excuses for why they should be accepted for betraying us. And I'm saying the day of betrayal is over.
The prophet is never really accepted by his own tribe.
Oh my God,
like,
dude!
I mean,
if you don't quit, if you don't quit, if you don't stop.
Nah, Jason, I'm being real with you, because you're trying
being
to put
real
everybody in a
dumb.
box. All the Black people that are not from here in the same box.
No, as a group,
And that's
as a
not
group,
cool,
as a group,
because
yes.
it's tribalism.
As a group, yes. As a group,
No,
they are in the
because
same
this
box.
isn't even
Yes.
this isn't even supposed to be an argument. This isn't even like
As
I'm
a
just baffled,
group, you
like,
are
this
in
is
the
topic
same
of
box.
the day.
Yes.
The topic of the day is
As a
hey,
group,
Black people from other
you're in the
places,
same box.
They just don't fuck with us.
You're
And
in the
that's
same
not,
box.
That's not real.
As a group, you are in the same box. Yes. As a group, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You see that you trying to separate yourself.
I'm not trying to separate anything. I am acknowledging the separation is already
what
there.
You're doing. What you're doing, you're trying to make a point of, like, at this point in time, which is like not even, this is like
You're
the
saying
worst
we should
time.
ignore it. I'm not interested in ignoring people disrespecting us. I'm not making a division. The division is already there, and you're saying, well, let's just ignore that and pretend it's not there. No, you clean up your act. You stop the division, and then we can stop discussing it.
This isn't even supposed to be some kind of argument right now. This
It's
is
not
just
an
tribalism
argument.
at the
It's a
worst time
declaration.
possible.
This isn't an argument. It's a declaration.
It's just some bullshit.
It's a declaration. You are being told what the new rules are. It's a declaration. And you need to get with the program. It's a declaration. You're correct. There is no argument.
No. I ain't even been against you guys. I ain't even
Okay,
came on
if
here
you're
to
not
argue. I
if you're
just
not
came on here
against
to
it,
just let you know,
you're against
all
us
of
if you're
us
not
are not in the
acknowledging
same
it.
box, and all of us don't think
Okay,
the
then
same.
you
Like,
are
every
against
single
it.
person has their own different,
Okay, that
unique
doesn't matter.
experience.
That doesn't
so you
matter.
Can't put all Black people from other places.
That's like saying you can't say all white people, because there's a couple of white folk who are not racist, so that proves that America isn't racist, because it's not all white people. That's what you're talking like. If I can find 2 white people who aren't racist, then I have to say that America's not racist. Hell no. America's racist, and there's just a couple of them who may not be.
Worst comparison.
No, that's an apples
worst,
to apples
that's the worst
comparison.
to me.
Just because it's not an absolute doesn't make it untrue.
No,
As a
Black
group,
people
you are.
from other places, it's not like 80% of us are like against you guys, or like that high of a number,
it's
because
more
we
like-
got
it's
we,
more
we
like
all
80.
feel the same squeeze of white supremacy
No,
everywhere.
okay, but
we
there's
all feel the same squeeze.
No, but that's the problem. The problem isn't that we're not all getting squeezed by white supremacy. The problem is y'all aren't getting with us to fight it. You're trying to get individual benefits for yourselves, and you only cry Pan-Africanism
No,
when the
we're
white
not.
folk knuckle down on you.
For the most part, we're not. I don't.
There
I don't care
is
about
no.
getting reparations for me. I'm
I'm
I
not
want
concerned
you
about
guys,
that.
ADOS, to get reparations.
That's
I'm not
great.
even fighting for reparations for me in America. I'm fighting with y'all for y'all reparations.
That's great. That's
I'm
wonderful.
not against you, dude. And most black people aren't, because most black people are feeling the squeeze of white supremacy no matter where you are in the world. Wherever you're from, as long as you're a black man, you're African. So everybody gotta
90
get that in their
seconds.
mind and
That's
stop
a
this whole
great
tribalism,
thing.
because
That's
it's some
wonderful.
bullshit.
That's wonderful. As we as black people, that's fine. The problem isn't just reparations. The problem is that as a fact of daily life, you all segregate yourselves as a group. You do not integrate with us, and you do not gel as a group. No, you do not do that. And that's the schism you have created. That's not the one we created.
60
No.
seconds.
It's not something I personally created, but if you're gonna expound
if you're not
upon
fighting
it,
it, you're
be
perpetuating it.
somebody championing the whole
If
tribalism,
you're not fighting
then
it,
I
you're
would
perpetuating
understand if that's the way you guys think as a
No,
whole.
if
Because
you're not
the way
fighting
you
it,
guys
you're
think, 'cause
perpetuating
it
it.
feels like, hey, this whole time is B1, it's B1, 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 but as soon as election come around, as soon as reparations come around, hey, it's ADOS, it's everybody hold your own nuts. Black people from other places, y'all be treating us like shit. When there's no topic, no big news topic saying,
You're not
okay,
fighting
black
it
people as a
daily.
whole are just treating black people from America like shit. There's no topic you could just
You're
point
not
at in
fighting
the news
it
that's just
daily.
big on CNN right now saying that shit. That's just some tribalism out of nowhere.
You're
just
not
trying
fighting
to
it
separate yourself
daily.
because you're thinking about selfishness right now. It's bullshit.
You're not
10
fighting it
seconds.
daily. You are not fighting white supremacy with us daily. You're not doing that. You only want to talk about white supremacy when we say we need to take care of
What are you doing for
ourselves.
black people from other places daily? What are ADOS doing for black people from anywhere
That's not what
else
I mean.
daily? There's no benefits that we come over here and automatically get.
That's not what I mean.
That's lunacy.
You
to
do
think that.
get automatic
we don't come over here
benefits.
and automatically get college
Yes,
scholarships
you
and all that
do.
shit. We bust our ass and work for that shit.
Okay.
Because it's a different mentality. We don't.
This is what I mean. First of all, did you notice how triggered he got, by the way? Notice how emotionally triggered he's got. And understand, I'm not talking about doing anything to them. I'm saying we need to see about us. And look at this. All of a sudden, we're yelling about Pan-Africanism. We're all in this together. What about white supremacy? Yeah. What about white supremacy? What about it? Because up until now, it's been just us. Now we're saying that you got to do something. Y'all being selfish because you don't want to look out for us. And then he's going to sit up here and say that they don't get any benefits given to them. Dude, your ability to stand on the damn soil is an automatic unearned benefit that you did nothing to deserve, that we, as descendants of slaves, bestowed on you. Once again, this is another person calling up as if somehow America was founded as this open society that welcomed in black people. All of a sudden, that's what they're calling up, acting like that's the situation. All of a sudden, they do that. This is the third one tonight here talking like somehow the door was held open and that the Constitution acknowledged you as a person. Buddy, the Constitution didn't even acknowledge you as a human being. It didn't even acknowledge you as a human being. And you're going to sit here and try to talk as if somehow the law of the land allowed you to be here. If it weren't for us, you wouldn't even be able to be on this phone. That's just how much you take it for granted. You wouldn't even be allowed to get on this phone if it weren't for us. Much less to be standing on the soil. You couldn't even get that far. Yeah, it's like they're giving us scholarships. That's what the hell DACA is all about. By the way, it just shows you how ignorant they are. DACA is about giving you scholarships to allow you to be able to even stay here. Where's the DACA for us? Where's the scholarships for illegals for us? So what they're telling you is that we spoiled them rotten. What they're telling you is that they're so used to getting over on us that at this point they expect us to just put ourselves in the back damn seat and let them drive from here on in. They just are like, hey, y'all been letting us screw you over this long. You should just be used to it by now. And by the way, I don't want to hear anybody from the Caribbean talk about about differences and schisms until people from the Caribbean check other people from the Caribbean for speaking against us and talking against us, which is my whole point. Folk from the Caribbean don't check each other for that. Folk from Puerto Rico don't check each other for that. Folk from the Dominican Republic don't check each other for that and say, hey, you're off code, but then you're going to jump on my microphone and come on my program and talk about we're being selfish, but you all have been selfish for 500 years. You're not checking each other on your selfishness, on your simple-mindedness, on your myopia. You're not checking yourselves on that, but you're gonna call me up and act like you're gonna check us and say we're the selfish ones when you don't check each other on a daily basis? No wonder he's triggered.
Me personally, look, even though you
Hang
can't
up
aim
the
this
phone.
at me personally, I could understand what you're saying as a whole, so I could look at the conversation from a bigger aspect
understand
above
this.
myself.
When you go check Caribbeans, come back and let me know when you've checked Caribbeans about their selfishness and their collaborating with white
check
supremacy.
people whenever they come at y'all the wrong way, man.
I don't.
Like,
Show me.
Most of us aren't coons.
Show me.
Because most of us see us all in
I
the
don't
same
believe.
boat.
I don't
It's the
believe
same
you.
boat that we're all in.
We don't
You just
believe
feel
you.
like-
You need
just
more
feel like,
people.
hey,
We don't
our
believe
boat is
you.
a different boat, and like I mean,
Bring me your
even
proof.
though you guys were slaves over there,
I don't see
even though
any
you guys
proof.
were slaves.
I'm not going to yell over you. I don't see any proof. You need more people. We don't believe you. You need more people. Don't sit up here and tell me you done did nothing. Show me where you're doing what I do, and then I'll believe it. I don't believe you. You need more people. Brothers and sisters, understand something. I've never had this many non-black Americans call up before, and all I said is that we need to see about ourselves, and all of a sudden he's sitting up here telling me that it's selfish for us to see about ourselves when you've got around America, every single neighborhood you go into, if it's Caribbeans, they make their own little segregated community and lock us out. When it's Africans, if it's Ethiopians, if it's Nigerians, have you ever tried to talk to a the ladies on the line, y'all know how the Nigerian males treat you. Fellas, you know how the African females treat you. They turn their damn nose up at you. They go off in the Somalians and everywhere else. They make it very well known very quickly that you're an outsider. You're not one of us. You're an outsider. Ain't no black unity until black Americans sit up here and say we're going to see by ourselves. Then all of a sudden, the folk who have ignored black unity all of a sudden want to start demanding it. Oh, you're selfish for not having black unity. Okay, y'all haven't practiced black unity ever. We're just saying, okay, we're not going to practice it with anybody who doesn't practice with us. Ooh, you being selfish. If you don't hop on your damn tricycle and ride the hell out. Caller from 916, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Just had a couple questions here.
Where are you from?
I'm sorry, sir. This is Jermaine from Los Angeles, California.
Jermaine from Los Angeles, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Now, I've noticed now, I'm in the Nation of Islam, and I've noticed that there's some brothers in the nation who are going with Cobra and siding with the HR 40 bill. I'm just trying to figure this out because the nation, you know, I've heard Professor Black Truth say some things about the minister, and I'm seeing it kind of come full circle now with this HR 40 and everything. I don't know if I'm getting my question across here. That last call,
not really.
I had to clear my mind with that.
Okay. Well, it's going to be an education effort. As far as HR 40, it's going to be an education effort. Outfits like this scam ass, con ass, Cobra thing, these are propped up by white folk. We can't take them seriously, but it's going to be an education effort to make sure people are fully aware of who these pretenders are, who these scams are, who these front people are. It's going to be a big educational effort in order to get the word out. My video about HR 40, a lot of people have seen it. It's made a lot of conversation, and now HR 40 is on the ropes after I put out my video because people had not actually read it. So, but it's still going to take a lot more people sharing it, a lot more people talking about it so that we can uncover the lies of HR 40 as well as the front groups that they are going to prop up to try to get this AstroTurf phony activists like in Cobra. They're going to try to prop them up and say, see, there's some activists who support it, and we got to make it clear that no, these are phony. The bill is phony. They're phony. You're phony. We're going to have to stay on top of that, but it's an educational effort. It doesn't end with us. It starts with us, brother, and it's going to be lifelong, but that's what it's going to be. So a lot of folk are looking for something to be done, and just understand this is a red herring. HR 40 is a red herring. It's meant for the purposes of being the carrot on the stick. In reality, it's just a stick. But there's a big educational effort that needs to be taken underway, and that's what we're doing now here at the only historically black college, university, and educational institution on the planet. Thank you very much for giving us a call, Jermaine. Please do give us a call again. Let me get caller from 706. You're on live with the Black Channel.
TBA, this is Darius Lamb calling out of North Carolina A&T.
There's out of North Carolina. What's on your mind?
I've been waiting for an hour listening to all that imbecilic babble. And honestly, it was frustrating because I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I've been consistently saying that in the group chat. That's why I wanted to call up. Okay. From my perspective, I believe that Pan-African is important. However, many Africans, when they come in with this whole black unity thing, yes, I'm for black unity. I understand that. But at the same time, you have to take your part. When I've spoken to many Africans, and many Africans are shocked that I know more about their history than they do themselves. To me, that's disappointing when we know more about you than you know about us or yourself. That shows me that you don't care, that you're ignorant, and that you are lackluster. It's embarrassing when you say we're all in this together, but then when we go to Africa, y'all calling us white man or Mwungu or Akata.
You don't even have to go that far.
What that shows me is you don't know.
You don't even have to go that far. You don't even have to
listen.
You don't even have to go to Africa. That's the really embarrassing part about it is you don't even have to go to Africa to get that. You can get that right. That's my whole point is we get disrespected right here. We did all the work. We did all the sacrifice. We gave all the dead bodies and all the lives to get them over, to allow them to be able to come over here. They're treating us like that over here. They're treating us like that here in America. And it's not just a New York thing. In Minnesota with the Somalis, in California, in Florida with the Haitians, they treat us like that here.
And it's not just relegated. And when it comes to America, what is even more frustrating is when I hear them talk about, oh, well, y'all are lazy and y'all don't take this opportunity. I've had them say that to me multiple times. And I said, listen, if you want us to care about you, do the exact same thing to us. I find it funny, and I was talking to somebody who was of Dominican ancestry, and I said, I find it funny how you Dominicans hate African Americans when literally 1 million Dominicans are of African American descent. Look it up. It's called Samana American. There is an area in the Dominican Republic that was founded by African Americans, Samana, the Samana Peninsula. But yet you don't even know that. And
brother, there's a reason for that.
That we're discussing, but half of your country is from us. Okay?
But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, brother. Understand, their problem isn't what you're saying tips at it, but let me just go full both feet into it. The problem is that these people from the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and you've had members of them here at the Black Channel who've told you all this, they are offended at the fact that we would even suggest their Africanness. That is what offends them. Not us, but the fact that we even suggest it is offensive to them. They have bought into the idea, and they fully embrace the idea that they're not black. They're not black, they're not African, they're Spanish. What offends them is that we would even suggest that they are African. That's the part that offends them to their core. And we have to accept that that's what we're grappling with as a people who are sick of us telling them that they're Africans. Now, when you understand that, then you understand, oh, this is what the fight really is. That they don't want to be African and they're offended that we keep saying it. Now, how do you Africanize somebody who is mortally offended at the idea that you keep saying that they're African? How do you do that?
You gotta let them go, and you gotta let them sink, and let them fade out into oblivion. I mean, you can't save people that don't want to be saved. It's funny how he was quoting Garvey, but Garvey said, "quote I can't take some of y'all to Africa because some of y'all useless people here are not gonna be no benefit for me over there." So you just got to let them fade out. And I got one last point, like two last points to say before I hang up because I want other people to get onto the call line. Now the one with Hans Massaquoi, I kind of iffy on that one because yeah, he was a Liberian king, but at that time Liberia was under Americo-Liberian rule under Charles D.B. King in the 1920s, and so that there was a whole conflict between the African American settlers and the indigenous population. So I kind of felt the Hans Massaquoi one was kind of not right. But my last point is that if we want black unity, because I believe in black unity, and I am a Pan-Africanist, you have to understand what does that look like? How is it going to be in the future? What are the issues facing the continent and the diaspora? You can't talk about Pan-Africanism and not understand, okay, you believe that we're all together. Why is it that in Uganda, people from Uganda can't cross into Rwanda or Kenya? Y'all making it so difficult for Africans to cross each other's borders, but meanwhile, y'all letting these Europeans and these Chinese people come in left and right with no visa, with no problem. That's all I got to say. Peace, be one fam, and stay educated.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call. Massaquoi is correct because the real issue wasn't Massaquoi. The real issue is the social, cultural environment in Liberia that identified with being something other than African. When you're dealing with Nazi Germany and it's not dawning on you, that's the problem. And we make excuses every time some variation on that happens. No excuses. No excuses. Caller from 516, you're on live with the Black Channel. We're going to need to make things short here because I want to try to wrap things up here as quickly as we can. So please give us the brief version of your comments.
Okay, I'll keep this brief. Good evening. My name is Patrick. I'm calling from Long Island. You know, you said it many times. Power only respects power. And I originally came from Flatbush, Brooklyn. My family comes from Haiti. And when I was still a child, we moved from Flatbush to Long Island, and I was placed in an all-white school, pretty much. So I knew I was going into a hostile environment as a child. But I knew that I couldn't be taking no crap from no white people. So I was beating the hell out of them white boys. And they knew good and well that I was a black man that they better not mess around with because I was going to resort to violence. I wasn't going to be a coward like Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? I was going to be fighting. So I can't understand how a continent like Africa is all black people, but you see them Africans letting white people over there smack them in the face. You see them getting smacked up all over on YouTube. And it's all African. And you see South Africa, they still haven't taken their land back, even though whites are a small minority over there, but they still haven't taken their land. But you know what? You know, it's they're weak. And they don't want to admit that they're weak. They don't got riders, you know, but I respect America because America at least has riders. And over here, you know, black people we're a minority over here, but you know, white folks, they know over here, they can't go one-on-one with black people over here. They know that. But over there in Africa, they're a small minority, but you see them dominating.
Well, as black people in America, we're going to have to teach the rest of the black world what it means to be black because they don't know. And the biggest lie being circulated and regurgitated around is that they are aware of what it is. I will disagree with you, though, about Dr. King being a coward. Dr. King was an icon. Dr. King was a legitimate legend, and much of what he did was bastardized. Much of what he did was falsely interpreted by the white media to create a Dr. King, a hybrid image of a man that didn't actually exist. And they have done a lot to distort his image. They did a lot to distort his record. They turned a man who was standing up to them and tried to turn it into, oh, everything was distilled down to, quote, nonviolence. And go through Dr. King's speeches, interviews, or anything else, you can damn near count on one hand the number of times he said the word nonviolent. And then you have to go into context. So please understand, they repackaged Dr. King because that was a critical point in history, and they saw a way they could distort it and mutate it into something that they could use. But don't be deceived. There's a reason why they only quote one speech from the man and leave the entirety of everything else out. They cherry-picked it. They grabbed a couple of sentences and said, don't you learn it. Just listen to what we tell you, and then that's it. But please don't be deceived. Dr. King was anything but a coward. If Dr. King was a coward, they never would have killed him. All your cowards are all of your cowards are the ones who lived. Everybody, most of them, I won't say all of them, but most of the folk who lived through that era, who they weren't shooting at, here's a hint, spoiler alert, those were your cowards. They killed the real revolutionaries. The cowards are the ones who were living. The real revolutionaries are the ones they killed. They wouldn't have done it if they were cowards.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. All right. Martin Luther King himself said he feared that he integrated his people into a burning building. So what is that?
Okay, people made a lot about that sentence. People made a lot about that. That was
an integrationist.
Brother, that was
He was an integrationist. They killed him.
Sir,
they killed him
that was one sentence among many.
Martin Luther King realized he made a big mistake.
That was one
He realized
sentence.
he made a major mistake.
That was one sentence among many, and that's what I meant by cherry picking sentences. White folk do it, but unfortunately black folk do it too for their own purposes. We can't just cherry pick one sentence and say, okay, here's what this means and here's the context of it and the way we go, because that totally ignores the fact that Dr. King said that at some point words ain't gonna get it and it's gonna have to come down to blows. At some point it's gonna have to come down to that. Notice nobody wants to play that one up. If we're gonna cherry pick sentences or if we're gonna grab things, why don't we talk about that? Why don't we talk about the letter from Birmingham jail? Why is it we don't mention those things about we're coming for the check? Nobody wants to play that up, so we just cherry pick either little black boys and little white girls holding hands together, or I've integrated my people into a burning house, and then throw away the whole entirety of everything else by grabbing one or two sentences out of context. We can't sit here and do that. We can't do that. I can understand your angst about it, but brother, we can't do that. That's turning him into somebody he wasn't. I'm not here to say whether he was an integrationist or not, but what I am saying is the idea that Dr. King's existence was A, nonviolence, and B, we got to figure out how to get more black folk living among white people. That wasn't it. Dr. King was about black empowerment. If Dr. King was about integration, he'd be like Coleman Young and Andrew Young and the rest of them. He'd still be alive. He'd be like he'd be like Julian Bond. If Dr. King was all that, he'd be like Julian Bond with his white wife and alive.
But look who he had around him. He had Andrew Young around him. He had Beard Rustin around him. He had John Lewis around him. Look at the kind of people he had around him. He had Jesse Jackson around him. Look at the kind of people he had around him.
Yeah, he had a lot, by the way.
Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. You can't ignore that part.
First of all, you're naming those people. You're correct. That was not to have around you. Second of all, he had a bunch of flunkies and groupies who, after the fact, attempted to magnify their relationships to him. That's the other thing that people keep downplaying. It was only after he died that all of a sudden Jesse Jackson became a household name. Nobody knew who Jesse was before Dr. King got killed. Jesse rode one photograph with Dr. King into being a lifetime of service. Brother, you know right now, maybe you can't. I'm not going to say that. Maybe you can't. I know what it's like to be in a room full of 10 people and I only really fool with one of you. I know what that's like. On a daily basis, take a look at somebody like a Jay-Z, somebody like a Nipsey Hussle. You got 50 people around you, yeah, but I know only one or two of y'all are riders. The rest of you are here to answer the phones, get the coffee, maybe drive the car. The fellow who drives the car is not my lieutenant. The fellow who gets the coffee is not my confidant. So yeah, you got if I'm working on getting black people more jobs with the city, I might gotta work with Jesse, but that don't mean that Jesse is my ace. That doesn't mean Jesse's my man. That doesn't mean that. So we don't have the ability to distinguish or make the nuances between forming alliances to get something done and saying that these are, quote, your friends. That's what you said. Well, take a look out. You can judge a man by his friends. Who said that? Other than Jesse Jackson, did Dr. King say this was my friend, or did Jesse say that? All these folk who came jumping on the bandwagon after he died saying, oh, I was right there with him. Amazing. There was a whole bunch of people who supposedly were, quote, with Dr. King. And when Dr. King and all the real riders were getting shot up, nobody saw it as necessary to shoot any of them who claimed they were his dudes after the fact. If they was really riders like that, why come there wasn't a bullet for them too? If that was the case. Brother, a lot of us have fallen for people who jumped on the bandwagon later and said they were with him the whole time. Bernie Sanders is doing that today. Come on now. Bernie Sanders is doing it today.
Well, Bernie Sanders is a fraud, but
okay, but so is Jesse. But so is Jesse. But so is Jesse.
There's so many pictures with him around them.
No, it wasn't so many. It wasn't so many pictures around.
That the civil rights movement was a complete failure.
Brother, it wasn't so many pictures around. It wasn't that.
The face of the civil rights movement would be a failure too.
Brother, it wasn't so many pictures around. It's what you're looking at. If you go looking for pictures of Jesse, Jesse was a camera whore. He knew how to get his face in front of cameras and make sure he was hanging off of greatness. But we got that today. Show me any black person who is accomplishing anything, and if they're not a total hermit and a total recluse, you're going to have a bunch of pictures of the same Negroes hanging off of them. We call those today flunkies. We call them groupies today. They're political groupies everywhere. Barack Obama was a political groupie. Hillary Clinton, she was running around she worked for Nixon, supporting him. So all you're describing is a political groupie. We've always had those. You've always had folk who were groupies until they could try to get themselves on, which is what Jesse did. There was no legitimate place in politics for Jesse. He hung around Dr. King because he was a young fella making waves. And Jesse was like, well, sooner or later, I can parlay this into something. I'll just hang around till I can parlay it into something. Dr. King got shot, and Jesse's like, oh, I'm up next.
No, but it's deeper than that, because those guys weren't just hanging around. Like Beard Rustin was his chief advisor. Beard Rustin.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Bayard Rustin was his, quote, chief advisor. Advisor of what? For what color shoes to wear? What was he, quote, advising? What does that even mean?
Oh well, no. A lot of the things that King was doing was Beard Rustin's ideas.
Okay, tell me one.
Like Martin Luther King used to have armed guards guarding his house, but then Bayard Rustin came and told him, he's like, no,
Bayard Rustin.
No, you got to get rid of those guards.
Okay,
you got to get rid of them.
You're telling me that
you got to be nonviolent.
You're telling me Bayard Rustin Bayard Rustin. You're saying Bayard Rustin single-handedly convinced Dr. King of that.
Say that again?
You're telling us that Bayard Rustin single-handedly, supposedly, convinced Dr. King not to have armed guards.
Where did I find that out?
No, I didn't ask you where you found it out. I'm telling you that even if what you're saying were accurate, you're telling us that even if that accounting that you're giving actually occurred, you're telling us that Dr. King supposedly single-handedly listened to Bayard Rustin. Bayard Rustin single-handedly convinced Dr. King not to have armed guards. That was the only thing Dr. King needed to hear. Bayard Rustin said it. Oops, I better do it.
Most definitely. I mean, Martin Luther King was definitely, I don't know what his obsession with Bayard Rustin was. Now, I mean, there was rumors that,
Brother, that makes
FBI
no sense.
was trying to blackmail
That makes no sense.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
Brother.
They were trying to make up a story about Dr. Martin Luther King and Bayard Rustin.
Brother, that didn't happen.
Lovers together. You know, there was rumors like that.
What you're saying did not happen. What you're saying didn't happen. Okay, brother, what you're saying didn't happen. Okay? It didn't occur. It didn't.
Well, I think the FBI was trying to
Dr. King didn't do anything. Dr. King didn't do anything because one person said it. And certainly not Bayard Rustin. That's a fabrication. He didn't do anything simply because one person said, I really think you do it. That's nonsense. Dr. King was leading. And we don't know what it's like to have leaders. So we make up conspiracy theories later. But brother, that didn't happen, okay? We're short on time here, but thank you very much for checking with us here and giving us a call tonight. They fabricated a Dr. King who didn't exist, and here we are today. I've got a board full of calls. I'm not going to lie. I got 24 calls sitting on the line right now. There is simply no way I can get to all of you. I'm going to take 2 or 3 more phone calls because in a moment here, Blog Talk is going to shut everybody off. I'll take 2 or 3 more calls, but I'm just letting you know right now, we got a board full of calls, which I'm not going to be able to get to. Caller from 901, you're on live with the Black Channel.
What's going on, Jason? This is Elliot from Memphis.
Elliot from Memphis, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, I want to be real brief here. You hit on a lot of good points, and one of the things you talked about was a lot of the people from Africa, specifically Nigerian women, man, they have a long generation of cooning. And I remember in my early 20s, I was dating a Nigerian woman, and we were hanging out, and I noticed how she was just kind of like smiling and walking around. And I asked her, I said, hey, what is it you're smiling about? And her response to me was, well, by the way, she went to Swanee School of the South, okay? Was supposed to be like the Harvard of the South. But anyway, when I asked about what she was smiling for, her response was, oh, I'm just thinking about how cool it is to know that a rich white man paid for my education, because she was on scholarship. And it was at that moment when I kind of recognized what you've been calling the schism all night with Africans and Caribbeans. But so thank you for giving some articulation to what it is we're trying to hammer out to go forth in an agenda. Black first.
Black first, brother. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from 612. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Hello, Jason. Thanks very much for this. I am Pascal. I'm calling from
Okay, brother, if you're on speakerphone, take your phone off speaker.
Okay, this is Pascal. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Pascal from
I
Minnesota.
want to thank you for this. Yeah, I want to thank you for this topic tonight. It's very, very educative and entertaining. Actually, you can hear from my accent. I'm a migrant here in the United States of America. And one thing that I want the migrants to understand is this. This is the hard truth. This is the blunt truth that we need to really face. We are here because you guys opened the doors for us. That's the very first thing that every migrant should understand. You guys put in the work for us to come into this country to have a life that we have. The next thing I want to ask is this. We have currently this issue going on, specifically about the ADOS and the situation of African Americans in this country, the foundational Black Americans. Currently, we have the Immigrant Black Caucus. What is their position as far as the ADOS is concerned? What is their policy position to assist and support the ADOS? We need to hear it very clearly. When we talk about Pan-Africanism, it should be a two-way street. Secondly, what is the Immigration Black Caucus and the Pan-Africanists from Africa? What is their policy position as far as the foundational Black Americans are concerned, making sure that they have a place in Africa? One thing that we have to understand is this. This is blunt truth. This is the hardcore truth. We should not take it with the bad faith or bad heart. We should open up our minds and see what you guys are saying, because it is helpful for all of us to recalibrate our relationship, redress our position, and look at the real problems and know how to work together like one people. I don't think you guys are cheating on us. The things that you say is true. That's the blunt truth. People who feel hurt about it, they feel hurt about it because they are facing the blunt truth about it. And I think when you say that we need to recalibrate this whole thing, we should not just blanket the whole thing like we are all in this together. They will not really see where the problems are coming from and how to approach the whole issue. We know it's a global issue, but how do we, from our own positions, from wherever we find ourselves in the world, how do we position ourselves to be able to confront the problem? If we don't have those clear policy and clear pathway to take, we will keep on dancing and going round and round. I think what you have called out is very clear. We should know what the whole deal is. I don't think you hate on African. I mean, when this ADOS whole thing started up, people were like trying to create this rift between ADOS and Pan-Africanism. Okay, if Pan-Africanism is helping every Black people across the globe, now this is a crisis that's facing American descendants of slaves in the United States of America. What is the position and the policy position of the Pan-Africanism as far as this is concerned? We need to hear them talk. We need to hear them come out clearly and make a position statement about this. We need to hear the immigrant Black caucus here in the United States of America make a statement about this. We can't hide behind things and stay quiet and claim that we are all in this or this whole thing. No, we need clarity. And I believe that this discussion should be very clear to all migrants in here, particularly from Africa, to look at it clearly and see that really we need to recalibrate our relationship and look at ourselves as a people with a different eye. When we can really face this thing clearly, we will know our real enemies and we'll know how our real problems and we'll know how to approach them head on. We should be truthful to ourselves. That is just the honest truth. Thank you very much for this topic. Thank you very much for this discussion. And one thing should be, I want to say that you have really been very instrumental, and you've shaped my thought process. You've shaped my mind in a lot of ways until I'm even capable of having a YouTube channel because of your influence in the way you look at things and the way you think. You, Professor Black Truth, Tariq Nasheed, and a host of you guys. Thank you for what you do. Unless we are truthful to see things clearly and stop muddying the waters, then we're not going nowhere. What is the position of Pan-Africanists as far as the ADOS is concerned? What is the position of the Immigration Black Caucus here in the United States as far as the ADOS position is concerned? We should come out very clearly and be very direct about this whole thing and face it head on. We cannot be muddying the waters or thinking that we're going to talk about it. You either stand with people who have supported you and made you to be here. Those of us who are calling ourselves immigrants, we are forming a Black Caucus in the United States of America. You guys make the door open. You open up the door for us to come here. So it's our place to stand and support you. It's our place to see that this is an injustice interpreted on these people, and they have a right to demand for it, for humanity and for justice. We have to be clear about those things. I'm a migrant. I don't think I talk about it because it's going to benefit you. No, it benefits the right people who have been affected. This is justice we're talking about. And the funny thing is this, most of us migrants are very ignorant about the society that we live in. We are really ignorant about where we live in. We need to take a step back and study where we are living. We walk in this community blindly. We don't even understand. We don't know that we are a chip in the chessboard. We don't take a step back to look at, see, hey, these people build this country. Why are they living in ghettos? There's a story behind that. How much do we research to know about this country? We need to do that work. And unless we do it, our own continent will keep on being the shitty continent that they call us, because we don't tune our minds and open up our minds to become conscious of the world that we live in. Most of us hear about the world talk about racism, we don't have a clue about how it functions. Thank you very much for all the good work that you are doing. You are just laying it out very clearly. Let's be blunt about it. Let's be honest about it to ourselves as migrants. And let's look at the problem squarely. Most of us have always looked down on African Americans. Yeah, that is the truth. Because the system makes it to be that way. But if you take your time up and study the system, you will know that you are being played. Unless we come to that realization, then you guys have every right to redefine your position as Africans and Americans that have been drowned, and then you need to redefine your position and your identity. What you are doing is very right. I stand as a migrant and support people in everything that you do.
Now, brothers and sisters from around the world,
that's why the whole foundation is shaking.
I want my brothers and sisters from around the world to listen to this caller and to listen to the very distinct difference between him and there was only one other caller from Haiti. I think lived up there in New York, but listen to this caller and see the difference between him and the others who called up talking about what we owe them. The others calling up talking about we're creating schisms and we need to just overlook it and it's white folks' fault that they don't see us properly. Take a look at what he's saying and compare that to them. If you all want to know what Pan-Africanism looks like, this caller just articulated what Pan-Africanism in the realm of the descendants of slaves and those abroad, that is what Pan-Africanism sounds like. That's what it sounds like when you eat this, drink this, sleep this, think this, breathe this, feel this, live this, love this, everything you are. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like that. If you want to know where the other callers were wrong, if you want to know what they were saying wrong, if you want to know what I disagreed with and what I took issue with and what I outright opposed, if you want to know why, listen to this call. That is what Pan-Africanism sounds like. That is what joining together with the diaspora sounds like. That is what being on code sounds like. That is what a two-way street sounds like. It sounds kind of like that. Brother, I'm going to let you end the broadcast. You have the last word.
Thanks very much, brother, for all what you have been doing. And I'll be very honest with this. You made me to rediscover my blackness and to understand what being a proud black man is like to move in this very world. That's the first thing I have to say. And secondly, I'll have to tell my migrant brothers, don't be bothered about what the Professor TBA is saying. Take a step back and look at what they are saying. That's the truth. We move in this society blindly. And when we talk about Pan-Africanism, as I will still repeat myself, let the Congressional Black, let the Immigrant Black Caucus, let the Pan-Africanists, let them come up with a position statement as far as our brothers here in this country is concerned and their relationship with Africa is. Let them make sure that our brothers here in the Western Hemisphere have a place in the AU. That should be a position statement. Do they sit on the same table with in the AU with the other AU brothers? Is there a place for them? Those are things that we have to talk about. Where is their own seat on the table of the AU? Then we talk about Pan-African and we've seen about it for the years and years to come. But they need to have a place and a position in that continent. They have the right to that continent by birth. They were pulled out of the continent forcefully. And that doesn't disconnect them from that. And if you want to make them to have that reconnection back into the continent, they need a place in the AU. The Pan-Africanists need to make a statement about it. They have to have a policy statement about it. They need to be part of the AU meeting on an annual basis. And we need to talk about, as I made it very clear, we here who live in the United States of America, we are here because our brothers here made it possible for us to be here. And if they are hurting, we are hurting. And I always say this, when a black person is shot on the street, our brothers here don't ask, where are you from? Are you from Haiti? Are you from Africa? Once they see the color, our identity is black. They are on the street marching. They don't care where you come from. So that is the mentality that we need to have, all of us. This is a fight for their existential threat to them. They are being drowned. They are drowning them. That's why when they took the step to say that we are American descendants of slaves and we need a say about our destiny in this country, we as the black migrants who are living here because of them need to stand up and step up and stand by them. That is it. Without that, let's forget about this whole sort of we are in this together. What is the position about the ADOS and their demand for justice? What is their position about it? They need to come out clearly. We're not going to muddy the waters with all this talking about it. We all are hurting, but we are participating. If we want to participate in our continuous disenfranchisement, and we cannot take a stand and a position when this type of incident is concerned or issues are concerned in the United States of America to stand by our brothers, then all this talk about Pan-Africanism is just a sham. It's a game. It's just pimping. That's all I can say. We need to stand by them, stand with them. If we claim that they are our cousins and they are our brothers and they are hurting, from a Pan-Africanist perspective, wherever you find yourself in a globe where a black man and a black woman is hurting or being suppressed, you need to stand by them and stand with them. If you cannot really defend what you say about Pan-Africanism, then let's forget about that crap. We don't have to muddy the waters. We have to be clear about it and we have to stand by it. I think what you guys are doing is like shaking the trees. Let's redefine and reset our position as far as our interrelationship is concerned. Thanks very much, TDA, and keep on doing the great work. I'm an ardent follower. I always say that I'm a how do you call it, a private in the B1 brigade. You've changed my mind. You've changed my thought process. I've come out to be a better and a proud black man in the United States of America. I never discovered myself till I came into the United States of America. And it's people like you out there, Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, Tariq Nasheed, those, your thought process, your ideology, that's reforming me and giving me a rebirth to know who I am. I stand with you people for this, and I will stay with you people, and I'm going nowhere. I'm behind the ADOS, and I will stick to it, and I will stay by it. Thanks very much for the good work, and keep on doing the good work. Thanks, brother, for standing with us. B1.
Black first, brother, and thank you very much for joining us here tonight. We do appreciate you being with us, and I just want to say that officially here, I am officially promoting you from being a private to being a sergeant in the B1 Brigade, and I'm very glad to have you with us here tonight.
Thank you, brother.
Black first, as always, here. Brothers and sisters from around the world, I couldn't have said it better myself. And I want it to be very clear here. This is love teaching, because we have nobody's going to respect us if we don't respect ourselves. And it is time we stop pretending that this problem does not exist. It's not isolated to a few people. Pan-Africanism has been a one-way street where people come and extract things from us and contribute nothing back. You are going to have to give us the same access that we have given you. We took the first steps. It is time for you to prove that you are about Pan-Africanism. And that first starts by you getting the groups you came with on code to tell them, hey, this is what it's going to be. We don't have anything else to prove. We already did that. Your very presence here is a testament to what we've done. Now it's your turn to put skin in the game. If you are new here, this is the Black Channel. This is the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. This is what we do every week. So definitely join us. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Same Black Channel, same Black Station. And join us again. If you have not clicked subscribe, click the subscribe button. And after you click that, you'll see the little bell. Click that so you can get your notifications. Although, remember, YouTube doesn't always notify people because our channel is targeted for silence on YouTube. So please make sure you check back with us. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to see more of what we do on a much higher level, Go to our website, blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. Check out our documentary work, our groundbreaking documentary work. 7 a.m. Gentrified, our newest documentary, Race War, which is an Amazon bestseller in the documentary category, not in just a niche, but in overall documentaries. It's an Amazon bestseller. So I definitely encourage all of you to get your copy of that today. The 3-disc version is out. Peace to everybody over there in the UK who's seeing it tonight there. Hopefully we can get that custom situation straightened out for the DVDs as well. The 3-disc version is out. Everybody who's able to get their perk DVDs, I've been sending them out by the hundreds every day. So hang tight. Thank you for your patience. You will get it. blackchannelfilms.com. Be there. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio program. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.